Marble City. RWAC. Yeah. Don't never use that. What? Came up running routes on a chalked up field. Hoops on a black top chain, that's cheap meals. West on the Jersey, now west in the heart. We were just a little crew, then the mission turned hard. Stallion talk strong, he gon' stand on truth. Two-pair tape got the cards for the lost eye youth. Coach Shane, old Mac with the game time plan. Big game, Kerry Reeves, show you how to be a stand-up man. Straight out of the west side, throw them W's up, watch the whole world ride. RWAC, yeah, say it with your chest. It's not just a brand, it's a whole new line. We some rebels with a cause, all about that real talk. Clock hit zero, but the grind don't walk off. RWAC, yeah, carry it for all y'all. It's not just a name, it's a way we stand tall. We don't just chill when the crowd get loud. We stay in the city when the lights die down. Show love to the kids on the crack cement. Dropping knowledge in the huddle like it's heaven sent. Talk grades, talk faith, talk how to treat moms. Talk pain, talk pressure, how to keep calm. From the bleachers to the barber shop, past that flame. Every jersey, every nickname, learn the same last name. Straight out on the west side, I'm never.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It's 9:30 Wednesday night, coming back at you strong. I know I've been traveling, been doing my thing, but I'm back, and I want to give a shout out to my guy, Big Game Kerry Reeves, holding it down, as well as you, the channel, for continuing to support us. But we back, and you know what time it is. It's time for that cause, because that cause don't stop when that clock hits zero. Going to have an action-packed show tonight. People going to be coming on, obviously, for the panel. Got a lot to talk about. Tonight we're talking hoops. So if you don't want to talk some college hoops, some high school hoops, this ain't the show for you. So we're going to be breaking it down. Going to have a great time doing it. First and foremost, got to do some Sorry about that, guys. Looks like some bad storms are just kind of rolling through, and I lost internet for a second, so I want to apologize for that. But that being said, want to thank everybody for joining the show. 194 subscribers, over 20,000 views. Keep punching that like button and share our cause so others can join it, because remember, that cause don't stop when that clock hits zero. Also, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organizations or of any other entities. These are solely the RWAC Crew's family and guest panelist views. Also, hit that chat box up. Obviously, this isn't the show that we bring people on, unless you're a guest panelist, but obviously your views and whatever you want to talk about drive this show just as much as what we want to talk about. And as I mentioned at the beginning, before it froze up, this is all about some basketball, high school, college, whatever we want to talk about, because we are on the doorstep of March Madness. And so remember to smash that like button and share us so we can get others to join that cause. Obviously, we're going to wait for our guy, Two-Pair Tate, to talk about them West Rebels, baby. Proud of you guys. Getting to that district championship, falling short against a damn good Central Bobcats team. Also got to talk about our guy, the Prince of Zamunda, Kalu Fofana, dropping a 50 dime on Powell. Anytime you can beat them is an amazing feat. So congrats, young man. I know that you were in the zone. I heard all about it. Sorry I missed it. I was traveling, but I could feel it from afar, them vibes. So shout out to him and willing them Rebels to that championship. But we'll talk more about that when Two-Pair comes on. But first and foremost, got to bring on the guy that has been holding it down while the Stallion's been traveling. And that trophy behind me is because I have been named the GOAT of my company. Barely 300 days in there, and excellence in customer service. And I have a great family that I'm a part of, a true work family that I'm a part of. Not that stuff that you hear about. This is a family that's welcomed me with open arms and truly, truly utilizes all my skills and assets and appreciates me, and even has lunch with me every so often, and a drink after work. But that being said, love my company. Shout out to them, and for that trophy that gets to sit proudly on my desk until the next great GOAT gets named for the next quarter. So shout out to you guys. But while I've been gone, this guy's been holding it down for us. I knew he would. Doing great things on his show Tuesday nights. If you've not been checking it out, the KR Big Game Show. And more than anything, we love what he always has to bring. And I can't wait to hear more of his thoughts, especially with our Vols losing last night, unfortunately. But that being said, let's bring him on. Give him the love he deserves every so often. Our guy, the one, the only, Big Game, Kerry Reeves in the house, baby.
Hey.
What is going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you doing? Looking good after your weary weeks of travel, man. Looking good. Ready to talk some ball tonight. Spent a lot of great college basketball. This past weekend was so much fun as a fan. Got to watch a lot of great basketball. Lots of fun. We can't wait to get into it and talk about it. Shout out to West High. Shout out to the Nigerian Nightmare, man. 50 against Powell. Anytime you go for 50 in any game is one thing, but when you go for 50 against a rival, that just makes it so much sweeter, man. With so much on the line, to will yourselves into that position. I mean, he's been fantastic, and we saw it as a freshman when he was on a loaded team and still found minutes as a freshman, and then last year's team, and this has slowly become his team, and next year is going to be his team. So I hope he sticks the course and doesn't transfer or do anything like that. So I hope he should be West Rebel and finish what you started, young man. So that being said, our other homies in the house, I know he's busy working like a dog, but I know it's all worth it, and he's just got to get through it. But he's got to make that money because he's been behind. But you know what? I find it ironic because here comes the money. The one, the only, the coach, Shane O'Mac is in the house, baby.
What's up?
What's up, fella? Good to see you, my brother.
I'm exhausted.
That makes two of us. I've been traveling all over the place.
I've been up since 3 a.m.
Man.
It's
making that cheddar, though, man. You making that cheddar.
Oh, yeah. I'm already on OT. I've been on OT since about 11 o'clock this morning.
Nice,
man. I got 8 more days. I got 8 more days to go.
Oh boy! Well,
you'll make it. You're
gonna make it,
and then we're gonna get Coach's Corner rocking and rolling finally. So that way, it'd be perfect just in time for March Madness. Honestly,
so Coach's Corner will debut on a Sunday.
Okay.
Mid-afternoon. Because perfect. I just found out that I have to coach flag football yesterday.
Oh, okay. Man.
All right. Well, you know what? That's perfectly fine. That'll be a nice afternoon ride with you, and a nice lead-in for the fire at night on Stallion Speaks on Sunday night. So it'll be perfect. So
that's awesome.
I'm your afternoon church retreat.
There you go. Hey, I like that.
Yeah, because I'll need to atone for my sins with my foul language at night. So, but anyway, I might be toning it down. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We all have to atone at some point. So
have you met me?
Obviously, Two Pair is going to join us, but I want to start us off right away, man. College hoops, we are on the doorstep of March Madness. I mean, if you think about it, guys, Saturday is the last day of February. Sunday's officially March 1st. And listen, I don't need the big tournament for it to begin. I always think that last week, which has kind of been deemed rivalry week or what have you for college basketball, is the perfect lead-in for the March Madness with all the big games you've got. Right off the top of my head, Tennessee Vanderbilt, Duke versus North Carolina, Miami versus Notre Dame. Yep. That type of stuff off the teams that I know. And, Alabama, Auburn are going to be playing. Of course, we got Alabama Saturday. But, I want to just talk about it because you have the rivalry week. Then you've got conference week that's going to be fire, especially the Big Four. I mean, the Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and ACC tournaments should all be lit. I will actually be in Charlotte for the ACC tournament, so I might even go a little live from there. Just to see how my Canes do, because if they can take care of business, they will be getting a double bye, and all they've got to do is win Thursday and maybe set up a date with Duke on Friday night on my birthday, March 13th, which would be amazing to see Cam Boozer and that group or whatever. They looked very good the other night, but it looked good last night too. But the other thing is let's talk about it, though. We'll start it off. The Vols, man, they were on fire, winners of 10 of 12. We had even kind of predicted where we thought the slip-ups were, and we actually thought that if they were going to possibly lose a game, it was probably going to be maybe Vanderbilt and Nashville, because that's been a place that's been a house of horrors for Tennessee over the last few years. But truth be told, it was Missouri last night. They kind of came out of nowhere. Tennessee started off strong, and hats off to Missouri for playing tough. But Missouri's been a tough place to play for a lot of teams. I mean, they beat Florida earlier this year before Florida's gone on their run. But, what were your thoughts? Exactly. Beat Vanderbilt, so they're sneaky, and they're starting to build a resume that they should probably make the big tournament, maybe as a 10 seed or a 9 seed, something of that nature, but definitely a tough place to play when you go to Mizzou. But guys, what were your thoughts on how our Vols played? Because truth be told, I'm needing for them to really find a consistent third score, because if Ament is not on, and obviously we all know about Gillespie. I mean, there's no. But the thing is last night Akpora or what have you, is that how you pronounce his name or what have you? He had a good game. Yeah, he had a good game, 15 points. But I'm going to tell you this, guys. Jalen Carey is giving us absolutely nothing, and I'm at this point where why don't you just roll with Dwayne Brown at center at this point, because he actually helped you beat Vanderbilt there on Saturday, and he gave you more than Jalen Carey, who gave you an absolute nothing last night. And I'll tell you one thing, it was so funny. I was at that Vanderbilt Tennessee game on Saturday in Nashville, and it was so funny because the Vanderbilt fans were booing Jalen Carey. The Tennessee fans were saying, "You guys can have him back," or what have you.
I think it's slow because of his size.
Yeah.
His size demands respect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at his dad. Look at his brother. I mean, his brother was bigger than him. So,
shit. I mean, his dad played football for Miami. His brother was freaking huge, made to the league. Mm-hmm. He's the smallest, but he's a big. Mm-hmm. But it's like he demands the respect for his size.
Yes.
But he doesn't contribute what you expect a guy that size.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of layups.
But the way Tennessee, I'm a huge Tennessee fan. But you take him out of the game, you have no one to feed it to in the middle. Who are you gonna feed it to? I know Nate's a freaking lottery pick, and it's like, oh, he's the same pedigree as KD. No, he's not. He needs another year, but the way the NBA is now, he'll get drafted.
Yeah, well, he'll be drafted in the first 15.
He'll be a top 15. He'll be a top 15.
If his shot,
because the whole league itself sucks.
Yeah. I mean, if his shot can get more consistent, he's definitely a 3, in the NBA. I mean, I know a lot of the teams play positionless basketball that you want the 5 best on the court, but he just does not have the size and the girth to bang down low with some grown men. And I agree with you, Shane. He should come back next year. I mean, I would even argue that with Shelton Henderson over at Miami, who has been phenomenal as a freshman for them and will probably be all ACC freshman. And it's like, yeah, you can get that pull of the NBA and get drafted as a lottery, but I mean, maybe you could make some big money. And truth be told, I think this class is going to be deeper than, say, next year's class. I mean, because no disrespect to that group of freshmen, and anybody can blow up from one year to the next. But truth be told, I think an Ament or a Shelton Henderson could benefit from waiting to be a top 5 pick in next year's class that may not be so top heavy freshman. But that's
how many of us originally thought at the beginning of the season that Carmelo Anthony's son would be a top pick?
I didn't.
I didn't think he would.
I didn't think he would.
Given the pedigree.
Yeah.
Because
given the pedigree, I still didn't think so.
I didn't think so because I didn't see the hype, like, I mean,
exactly.
I mean, and the thing is, I've watched him,
But where I was leaning with that was that the draft picks now are not solidified league players.
I see what you mean.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at G League or whatever the fuck they call them now. Excuse my language. That we're not past.
No, you find G League
but like it's not what it used to be.
No, it's not.
So even the top draft picks that come out of college, they're not guaranteed an NBA contract.
Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
And it's also like, if you look at it, which would you rather watch right now? College basketball or NBA?
College, yeah.
College basketball right now for sure. I mean, so.
And that's before leading up to the tournament. So I mean,
yeah. Well, and these freshmen have lived up to the hype. I mean, I know that I've been talking about them for a while.
The Boozer twins are probably the top, like, wherever they go will improve their teams.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Well, and I've heard that Caden's supposed to be coming back.
That's what I heard too.
Cam will be.
That's the younger twin, right?
Yeah, that's the younger of the two twins. Yeah,
Cam's
he's the shorter of the
number 1 overall pick.
I'm going to tell you this, man. I look with what's going on with the Darren Peterson situation, and I want to get into that tonight because I know that it's kind of tough to. I can look at it from both sides. The criticism is there, but at the same time, at least he's playing. He could have told everybody, go kick rocks and just sit out because I know somebody will take me. And because isn't that what would happen with Ben Simmons years ago when he wasn't eligible or he got hurt? He just basically said the hell with this at LSU and still got picked number 1 overall. So
the only problem is this kid Peterson's got a hell of a lot more ability than Ben Simmons. He's got an offensive game.
More.
Ben Simmons didn't even have an offensive game.
Ben Simmons only deserved to be in the league.
Yeah. Well, and ironically, Brandon Ingram has been the better. He was picked number 2 overall. Brandon Ingram's had the way better career than he's just been on bad teams. I mean, that's the thing. So yeah, but I don't know. I look at that. So yeah,
I got to make some trips around. I'm gonna try to jump back on. Once I get done running some rounds. But
all right, brother.
Give me about 30 minutes. I should be back on.
Come back on for sure, brother. For sure. So yeah, absolutely. So, but Kerry, as we were talking about though, man, like, and I'm glad that you said that because I was watching Cam Boozer, okay, and I've been paying attention to all the freshmen. It's unfortunate what happened to Caleb Wilson because I've been singing his praises all year. I've been singing Koa Pete's praises all year. I mean, and here's the other thing: Arizona's still competitive even without Koa Pete. They're gonna be a tough
what a win in Houston without him.
Huge man. And then you talk about that other freshman at Houston, Kingston Fleming. Kid's a stud. I mean, absolute stud, and so the point is that I'm getting at is these guys, unfortunately, it's a grind and, it's more games, it's travel, shit happens. But at
Yep.
the end of the day, this Boozer kid has been consistent all year. Sure, he's not flashy. Maybe his game is not above the rim as some as the others, but I'll just say this, man. He's got a killer mentality. I mean, they beat Michigan Saturday. He looks at the camera, doesn't showboat. He just looks at the camera, and it was kind of like a Kurt Signati look. You know what I mean?
Tell
Like,
me
I
about it.
just went into your house. You know what we did. I just drank your brandy, and I'm going to come back and do it later, and there's not anything you can say about it. That's the kind of look he gave to the camera. And then last night against Notre Dame, who was just absolutely pathetic. I've never seen Notre Dame look so bad. And here's the thing, Kerry. I know they've got some injuries, but you can't tell me that they were that bad that they got the shit whipped out of them as bad as they did last night. At home, where was your crowd? I mean, they have always found a way to muster an upset. Digger Phelps was in the house and everything like that. And, I mean, they just got – it wasn't even a contest. It was over in a minute. It was horrible. So, yeah.
I mean, at halftime, it was 54-22, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? What kind of game is this at 54? There was no game. You could have played the backups from the rest. You could have played the backups last night. They probably would have scored 80 last night.
And they almost did. God. I mean, Duke's ninth player, Darren Harris, had the second most amount of points with 15. Like the ninth player in the rotation. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. It's like Boozer didn't even play the last 15 minutes. He could have had 40 and 25 last night. And he finished with 24 and 15. In like 24 minutes or whatever like that he played. He didn't even play the last 16 minutes.
Yep. They showed a stat Saturday that really impressed me. He's the only player in the country, any level, 500 points, 250 rebounds, 100 assists, and 100 steals. The guy plays on both ends of the floor, plays offense and defense. He's easily the national player of the year. The only question is who's going to be in Duke's region when it comes out, when they come out with the seedings in 3 weeks. That is going to be
well, and I've been keeping an eye on it because obviously we have a rooting interest of where Tennessee, you were the one that kind of broke the news that Tennessee could be on their way to a 5 seed, maybe even sneak in that 4 line. Of course, last night messed that up. But if they can win these next 3 and maybe have a good showing in the SEC tournament, they could sneak in on the 4 line. It's just the consistency hasn't been there. But to go back to Duke in the East region, though, they would. I mean, here's the thing about Duke: them taking care of business against Michigan and Notre Dame. Do you know, Kerry? They do not leave the state of North Carolina until the first round of the NCAA tournament. Which, if they do get that East region and stay a number 1 seed, which they should, they would only go to Greenville, South Carolina, which is like a 4-hour drive from Durham. Then they'd go to Washington, D.C., where they just won. And then they would go to Indianapolis, where they've won 3 of their 5 national championships at. And I have this theory about certain teams being in certain arenas and states where they are due to win. And that's why, like, the next time a Final Four is in the state of Texas, I'm not taking and Connecticut's got a good seed and a good team. I'm taking Connecticut to go all the way. The only reason I didn't last year was the Gators were damn good, and that's why I took them or what have you, and ultimately ended up being right. But I'm just saying, go ahead, though. So
they're finding themselves. Florida is finding themselves. Have been just as hot as Tennessee. They beat them by 31, and it wasn't even funny.
Yeah. And one could argue that ever since that game against Tennessee, Florida has been a complete different team ever since. And I watched their game tonight against Texas. It was back and forth. And I'll tell you this. When he finally gets his guys there, I don't like him personally, but the guy can coach his ass off. Sean Miller's going to be a problem for the SEC.
Going to be a problem in the SEC.
And when he gets, he'll have Texas with that NIL. He'll have them up in no time, and with the talent that. But what I'm getting at is, now this kid, that was the transfer. Lee is his last name or something, from Harvard. He's
Yeah.
knocking down 3-pointers that weren't falling before. Boogie Fland is knocking down 3-pointers, which he was struggling with at Arkansas last year. And then they've got the biggest front court. You know,
Condon
they go
and
deep.
Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm telling you, man, and Chewy, I mean, those 3 guys, I mean, that's a very solid starting lineup. I wouldn't want them as my 3 seed if I was a top 2, you know,
They
like,
might
honestly.
be I think Florida's going to be a 2 seed when it's all said and done. I think they're going to squeeze their way into a 2. I think Tennessee's going to squeeze their way into a 4. I see Tennessee winning the last 3 and getting that double bye. If they get that double bye, that sets them up for a 4 easily for a 4 seed. If they can get to the final like they did last year, remember their seeding improved last year because they got to the final of the tournament. So to me, if Tennessee can get to the final again in the SEC tournament, they could move up to a 4, possibly a 3. Because upsets bugs.
Yeah, and it was such a loaded field last year. I mean, you know, Tennessee was one of definitely the best 8 teams, and it proved it once you got to the Elite 8. Unfortunately, look at who the Final 4 was. All 4 number 1 seeds. Was, I mean, and they were the 4 best teams all year, and it was probably the best Final 4 and best championship you could ask for, and especially if you didn't have a rooting interest in either one, if you just were a fan of basketball. But this year, you've got teams that easily any of the 1 through 13 teams could possibly win it. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. And the thing is there's some teams right now that do have question marks. You know, for example, you know, North Carolina, if they have a healthy Caleb Wilson come back, which supposedly it was announced yesterday, he'll be back for the Duke game. There'll be some rust. Duke's going to be out for blood anyway in Cameron for what happened in Chapel Hill the month before. So, but what I'm saying is they're probably going to meet again in the ACC tournament, you know, the next week or whatever. But what type of team is North Carolina when they have a healthy front court of Vasir and Caleb Wilson? You know, you saw how bad they are without those guys, but 2 guys can make a difference. I say that also for, you know, what type of team is Kansas going to get and Arizona once they get Koa Pete back. But what's your thoughts on it, brother?
I'll tell you what, the Big 12 is showing me they're the best conference in basketball this year.
Easily.
I mean, my God. I watched the game on late Saturday night. I actually stayed up to watch BYU and Iowa State.
Me too.
And that kid for BYU, Arbanza, he's the whole effing show. And then some. That kid is amazing. Iowa State's a solid, very solid team that can
fundamentally sound great team.
They can beat anybody. I love the way this tournament is shaping up because right now, like you said, I've got about 16 to 17 teams that have a shot to win the whole thing if the draw falls their way and falls right.
Yeah, and can I tell you this? There's a lot to be said about the geographical locations of where they're going to get to, Kerry, because as I already mentioned, Duke's path. Look at Houston. If Houston even gets a 2 seed in that region of the South, they would actually go to Oklahoma City, which is not that far, really, and then they would have the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 game in their backyard in Houston. I mean, you know, that's crazy to me. And then you look at Arizona. Arizona would start off in San Diego and then would go to San Jose before going. So they would stay out west. You know, that's not
stay
that
out
far
west the
from
whole
Arizona.
time.
Michigan would have to go to Buffalo, which I know is not that close, but they get through those first 2 games. Chicago, which is basically a home game. You know, they're for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. So there's a lot to be said of where you're going to be geographically placed. But go on with your thought, though, about, you know, these 16 to 17 teams, depending on the matchups, obviously.
Depending on the matchup, 16 to 17 teams. I look at the way the college basketball has been all year. You've had upsets here and there. You've had great performances. We talk about the freshman class. This may be the greatest freshman class in the history of college basketball. I mean, how many of these guys could get drafted on the next level? Jay Billis, I had a chance to listen to his podcast. He said at least anywhere from 12 to 15 freshmen could be the top 15 to 20 picks in the NBA draft coming up in June. And he said it is absolutely scary how good some of these teams are. This tournament is going to be This tournament, yeah, last year you had Florida, and Florida was a great team. Florida's still a good team. This is more wide open. This is unbelievable how wide open this field is. But we got 4 teams at the top. The only 2 teams to convince me that are number 1 seeds are Duke and Michigan. They played that out Saturday. The other 2 to me are up for grabs, but I think if Arizona gets their hands on one, who knows? Illinois could get the other one. Who knows? Michigan State, somebody we haven't even talked about yet. They're quietly sneaking up there in that 2 seed, in a 3 seed, 3 seed area. Arkansas is another one that if they come on the right night, that's a scary team. Alabama, I don't know what to expect out of Alabama because when they shoot well, they can't be beat. When they don't shoot well, you could run them out of the gym. It's either or with that group. That game with Tennessee on Saturday is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm glad you mentioned Illinois because let me tell you this, Friday night, Michigan has to go to Champaign, Illinois. And that is going to be an absolute fire to a very underrated big weekend of games, honestly. Like you start off Friday night with that one, and it pretty much goes into Sunday with Ohio State taking on Purdue on CBS Sunday. And we like to joke around and laugh about that. But there's going to be solid basketball from Friday night up until Sunday, and realistically right into the rivalry week that we talked about of March Madness beginning. And so I say all that this Illinois team, they're very well coached. I still don't know how they blew that lead to UCLA. I mean, they were up by 17 points and lose on a last-second buzzer. But that being said, up until that happened, they were a dark horse because they have a lot of foreign players that are fundamentally sound. They're very well coached. They know their roles. And they will be a dangerous team as a 2 or a 3. Or like you said, they could win the Big Ten and maybe sneak in there as that 4th number 1 seed. I think 3 1 seeds are locked up. I think that anybody like an Iowa State, a Houston, a UConn, or, even like in Illinois could sneak in there as that 4th one. Maybe even the Gators if they run the table, winning the SEC again, like you said. But I mean, it's going to be a fun tournament. And then to go on your point real quick before I hand it back to you about the best freshman class, the one that was supposed to be there all along and reclassified only to entertain us last year was Cooper Flatt, which makes it even scarier of how good this group was. You know what I mean? So, but
how good would Duke be right now if they had a Cooper Flatt and Boozer?
And they could actually make it work because one was a 4 and one was a 3, I mean, like that's and realistically, Coop kind of played point forward for them last year. He was their guy that led everything at the top of the key. And that's why the Mavericks kind of toyed with that, but it's a different thing. I mean, listen, he needs to play the position with the Mavericks. And when Kyrie Irving comes back, I'm going to be intrigued with how the Mavs look next year with them both healthy next year, to be honest with you. But that being said, though, no, it would have been scary good. And Duke, obviously, talking about that Michigan Duke game, because I did want to talk about it. I mean, what a classic. And the fact that they played it, they didn't have to play it. They could have played 2 patsies instead out of conference, but they played it. They played it with an NCAA tournament ball to get used to it in a venue that's going to host a Sweet 16 and an Elite 8. And the matchup lived up to the hype. I mean, it really truly was like, for the bragging rights. And I'll tell you this, man, Duke's defense, as for much as everything gets credit for Boozer, I didn't realize this, but do you know that Duke is the 2nd tallest team inch by inch from every player? As a matter of fact, their shortest player, ironically, is Caden Boozer, who's 6'5". Everybody's 6'5" and above that actually plays meaningful minutes for them.
The wingspans on those guys.
The wingspans and the length. And Dame Sarr, who I know our Italian stallion, he's kind of been given the nickname the Italian stallion because he's truly from Italy. That guy is going to be a steal for the draft. They love his wingspan. And if he starts making 3-pointers like he was doing in these last 2 games, then they've really got a weapon there because they put him on Elliot Cadeau, and that kid couldn't do nothing with that length on him. Honestly, when you have your point guard going up against a 6'7" guy with a 7-foot wingspan, I mean, what do you do, Kerry? What do you do against that? honestly.
I'm gonna tell you what. Get back to the Duke and Michigan game. I was so impressed with how they handled the entire day. ESPN Game Day doing it. They had open practice for the fans to come in and see both teams like an NCAA tournament game.
Sign autographs too. It was awesome.
Autographs too. Yep. They treated it just like an NCAA tournament game. Both coaches were so impressed. I was impressed with Shire before, but Dusty May from Michigan really impressed me. He said, "This is the atmosphere I've been trying to tell the kids about." They got to live it firsthand. He wasn't even upset after the game. He said, "Yeah, we could have done a couple things different, but what a game. What an atmosphere." I mean, when courtside tickets for a non-conference neutral site game were for $7,000 to sit non-conference.
And Kerry, the nosebleed seat at the top was $600. We're talking about. I mean, that doesn't even cost that to go to a stupid Wizards game, or concerts.
Just to get in the door, $600.
Yeah,
that's
and you know
impressive.
What? At least you got your money's worth. You know what I mean? It's not like you paid money at the Super Bowl and watched a snoozer for the whole game. I mean, you actually were entertained for 40 plus minutes. And like you said, if you were a part of the day festivities, you got your money's worth and then some. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. For Duke, they've already had a couple of humbling losses. They lost the big lead against Texas Tech. And, I want to just say something about Texas Tech, man. What a damn shame JT Toppin getting hurt.
Tell me about
it. That broke my heart because I want to see the best of the best go at it. Yep. This kid was having a fantastic year. And, I mean, Texas Tech was just a team right there. You talk about one of the 16 to 17 teams. They were dangerous. And I think I even messaged you saying, I don't want any part of that team. Like, I mean, they are
I don't
good.
Want no part of Texas Tech.
No. And when they're hitting and their coach, I mean, give him something, man. He tells them it ain't over until it's over. I mean, I saw them beat Arizona over there in overtime a couple of weeks ago. But I say that. But
JT Toppin would have been my runner-up for National Player of the Year.
Without a doubt. Him or the Michigan kid, Yaxel. I mean, without a doubt.
Yep.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, but Toppin getting hurt, that changed things. And obviously the Duke losing to Carolina on the last second shot, but it's a rivalry game. But I could say this, had Michigan won, I think Duke would have taken things away from it. Michigan definitely, like you said, Dusty May is going to take things away and I think that it was funny. Both coaches were very complimentary of each other. They even took a minute in the handshake line, and I was watching it with my buddy Eric, and I said to him, I guarantee you they both said to each other, we'll see each other in Indianapolis. So, and why wouldn't you say that? I mean, until somebody knocks you guys off, you guys are the front runners right now, and you proved it. I mean, and Michigan is still the betting favorite, even with the loss.
Yep, even with the loss.
So,
yep.
Yes. So, but like I said, while we're talking about it, the other game, let's talk about Arizona, Houston. I mean, I really thought Houston was going to win that one, Kerry. Kingston Fleming was carrying them, but then Arizona clamped down, and you just cannot go cold. And the truth of the matter is, this has been, unfortunately, for as much flack as certain teams get for, how do I say this? Things happen, and it's almost like their identity. And it's really not a fair thing because it's basketball. Shit happens. But Kelvin Sampson's teams have been criticized in the past for going cold at the worst opportune moments. And it happened again in a big game on national TV against a phenomenal opponent. And you can't do that. And that's why it was the difference in the game. Arizona was making shots. They weren't. And you can't do that, especially when it counts in March, because when you're done, you're done. I mean, that's it. So your thoughts.
I'll tell you what, we talk about the great coach. We talk about coaches. We just talked about Shire, Dusty May. Tommy Lloyd is a damn good coach. That man needs to be shown a lot more respect because that guy can coach.
Yeah. I don't know what Arizona's going to do, but they need to do something. Yeah, go ahead, though.
You don't have Cole Pete. You don't have your two of your better players. Toby Awaka, a former Tennessee Vol, I think played his best game of the season.
And it made me mad. It's like this guy's doing amazing things over there in that front court. It's like. But good for him. Shout out. I mean,
I just thought Arizona came with the defensive mentality, and then when they needed a big shot, they got a big shot, and they
Oh
hit a
yeah,
big shot.
and
Houston went cold
Stevenson.
at worst. Stevenson, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I mean that kid was just
Woo!
dirty. And then the Orso, the foreign kid
The
off the
foreign
bench
kid.
knocking down three. Oh my! And that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because I also think for as much love as as the freshmen have gotten this year, I've never seen a year where the international players for certain teams have
Yep.
stepped up. I've already mentioned Dame Sarr for Duke, but it's almost like you've got to get in bed with that. I mean, Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
with Estrella, like you've got to find some guys that have that experience in those pro leagues that are still eligible to play the college game that can really bring some difference to your team, a toughness that you need and to knock down big shots and can play defense and have those fundamentals. And I've already mentioned Illinois. They have a team full of them. Gonzaga has some of those guys too,
Yep.
and I'm just saying that it's going to be very interesting. But Del Orso was incredible the other night, and his threes were the
Man, oh
difference.
man.
When Houston wasn't hitting, him and Stevenson took over, and that was all
Yep.
she wrote in Koa Pete's absence. So
Man.
yeah, but it's just it's going to be a fun tournament, And the other thing, the other game that I was a little invested in too, and unfortunately my guys fell short. Miami, had this 11-point lead on the road against Virginia. Unfortunately, lost. It ended up losing by 3. And now they're a 3 seed in the ACC tournament. Of course, there's still a lot of basketball to be played, but what's your thoughts on Virginia, man? We were making fun of them a couple years ago because they were so slow under Tony Bennett, but now they got Odom's son coaching them, and Odoms have been very good in the ACC. Virginia's
Mm-hmm.
got a hell of a game on Saturday. They have an opportunity to knock off Duke at noon in
They're a
Cameron, where
scrappy
not many teams
bunch.
have done it, but they're a scrappy bunch. I mean, what's
Yep.
your thoughts on Virginia?
They're a
Can they make some noise? They're right now the number 11 team according to the top 25 and beat the hell out of NC
they
State
could
last night. So
they could make some noise, but they have to control tempo. They
yeah,
can't go up and down and run with certain teams. And Duke's one of those teams they cannot go up and down and run, because if they try to run up and down Duke will blow them out of the building.
yeah,
They have to keep games somewhere in the 60s and 70s. If it gets up to 80, which means they're hitting shots well. But they
yes,
got to keep it within 60s and 70s, because they can't go on a rampage going up and down the court. But they're a scrappy bunch. They play hard-nosed defense. They play physical basketball. They're a jump. I see them as more as a jump shooting team. When their shots are on, they could get back and set up their defense. When it's not on, they're scrambling all over the place. Miami had a good game plan. Miami just didn't hit shots at the end, and I think
that's
that was
what
the
happened.
difference in that game. They didn't
And
hit
and
shots at
and,
the end.
and I'm not going to make excuses for my Canes, but I will say this, Kerry, they really are just that starting 5. I mean, they can maybe get some
Mm-hmm.
minutes from their bench, but it's not anything quality depth, and I think that's what's going to hurt them. But I'm going to say this. Jay Lucas has got to be ACC Coach of the Year, because I said
Yep.
at the beginning of the year, mark my words, Miami's going to be in the NCAA tournament. And right now they're in. I mean, they are firmly in. Right now, if they can take care of business and maybe knock off a Louisville next Saturday, and we're going to talk about Louisville in a second because I think they've completely imploded. But the truth of the matter is that from a team that finished dead last in the ACC in one season with a whole new roster. I mean, to even be in play for a double bye, hats off to
Mm-hmm.
Jay Lucas and what he's done with 4 transfers and a freshman, I should say. So yeah, honestly, so
Yeah, right
but
now Miami is comfortably in. They would be in Arizona's bracket in the West, would possible with playing St. Mary's and then possibly Arizona. That's according to Joe Lenardi. So many different ones, but yeah, Miami right now, to me, yeah, I think Jai Lucas is the ACC Coach of the Year. The job that he's
has to
done
be.
down there is just phenomenal. Shire's going to get votes, and I understand that. But if you're looking at a team that has really improved, Miami
Oh yeah,
was at the thought of the year. It was like a bottom part of the ACC. They look like they're probably going to get that one of those double buys in the ACC tournament. And who saw that coming? Not a whole lot of people. But I like what he's
I
doing.
didn't see that. I just said they'd make the NCAA tournament. I didn't think they'd finish in that really top of the ACC, and that's why I pulled the trigger and gave myself a birthday present. I said, well, I was thinking they would be there last year, and I still had a good time at that tournament even without them there, and tickets were dirt cheap. But the truth of the matter is that this year I might get to see him play Duke of all teams, which would be pretty cool.
That would be
and
a fun
they've
game.
not even played. And how does that happen, Kerry, that a schedule is not balanced, that you don't even get to play Duke?
That's what happens when you
know
got
what
16 teams. That's what happens when you got 16 teams, and it's kind of hard to balance the schedule. SEC's been having a hard time trying to balance the schedule with 16 teams. So, yeah, the more teams you get, the harder it is to balance the schedule. Some teams will not get to play each other. That's kind of sad in a way, but that would be fun. Watch Miami and watch them play Duke. I think Miami wouldn't have any fear. They would love just going in there and say, hey, a lot of people will see us as no chance. Let's go play, have some fun, see what happens.
Well, and the other thing, too, is Jay Lucas knows Shire's stuff because he was on their staff the last 3 years. So I think they would know each other's stuff. And and for Cam Boozer, the thing is him being from Miami, both him and Caden being from Miami. And, he picked Duke over Miami. And, who could blame him at the time because they didn't even know who Miami's coach was going to be and everything. So Larinaga had stepped down when he made the decision to go to Duke. But and, of course, his dad played there. But I think it'd be a fun matchup between those two teams in the ACC. Speaking of what with Tennessee, I want to go back to the Vols real quick because they themselves have a game, against Alabama. And, as much as we laughed about the whole Bediako situation, ever since they ruled him ineligible, Alabama's on a winning streak right now. And they're going to be a dangerous team with Nate Oates.
It's kind of funny that when he played, they had a losing record. That's what's kind of funny about it. When he played, they had a losing record. Without him, they have a winning record. But Tennessee has mastered Alabama. They've won the last 5 in a row. I think it'll be 6 because something about Alabama that just doesn't travel on the road with them. I think Tennessee, after the way they lost last night, I think they'll be ready to get back. Turnover, if they could cut out turnovers and make layups, they'll be fine because they're going to do everything they can with Alabama. They frustrate Alabama. Funny thing, Alabama scores about 85, 87 points a game against a lot of other teams. When it comes to Tennessee, they only average in the 50s. Tennessee clamps down on them defensively. And I think with a big crowd, it's a 6 p.m. game. It's a 6 p.m. Saturday night game on ESPN. It's going to be rocking in that building. And they're the game before Arkansas and Florida, which is a huge game in the SEC because it looks like Florida, if they win that game Saturday night, will win the regular season.
They'll get the 1 seed.
They'll be the number 1 seed. They'll win the SEC regular season title.
And with everything they lost, I'm telling you, man, Golden, we've talked about Golden on this show, man. That guy can damn coach. We know that much and so forth. But, to lose, Walter and that backcourt and for them to be right there, that's something. That's something right there. And Arkansas with Acuff, he's been phenomenal for them. And Calipari, I think, has finally found his groove at Arkansas. We knew he was going to, but I think they've got a way more talented team this year. I think it all, like you said, it comes down to matchups and the geographic location. And realistically, if they didn't have the collapse they did against Texas Tech, they would have been playing Florida for a chance to go to a Final Four last year, and so forth. So they were right there with that team. So,
their team was that team might be the worst of Calipari's teams was the first year.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Acuff, I watched that game at Alabama when he scored 51. I'm like, he couldn't miss. They guarded him. Alabama guarded him, did everything you could. He couldn't miss.
He was in the zone.
He hit everything. He was in a zone.
Yeah, he was definitely in the zone. And then you look at, you asked me about what my favorite game was. I didn't think it was going to be my favorite game of the weekend, but it ended up being my favorite game of the weekend, and that was Kentucky and Auburn. And then Pope's comments afterwards, I died laughing, Kerry. He said, I didn't say anything wrong, so watch those MFers find me or whatever. And then they fined him yesterday.
And they fined him yesterday, As if he knew he was getting fined. He knew he was getting fined. But Kentucky's been a confounding team all year. Tennessee
how the hell did Tennessee lose to them twice, man?
And Arkansas. How did Arkansas lose to them at home? But then they go to Vanderbilt, get beat by 30. They lose it. They lose at home to Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been the most confounding team in college basketball all year. No one
Mm.
understands how they've gone. They lost to Mississippi State. How do you lose to Mississippi State when everybody else is beating them? You let Josh Hubbard score all the points, but then you stop the other 8. That's all she wrote. But Kentucky has found a way to lose games they should win and win games they should lose. They are the most confounding team. And it looks like from the schedule, they may be probably going to get a single bye, which means they play that Thursday night. If everything works out for Tennessee and they get a double bye, their road to the semifinal is going to either be one of Georgia, LSU, or Texas. And Tennessee could beat any of those 3. And Tennessee would beat either of those 3.
Yeah. Well, in Kentucky, the schedule, I was peeking at their schedule a little bit. I mean, they've got a very tough Vanderbilt squad coming in there this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got, obviously, the return game with Florida. And, Florida comes to Lexington, but Florida put belts to asses to them and, talk trash afterwards. I mean, what Kentucky team is going to show up? Like you said, I mean, it's almost like they play to the level of the competition, but they let one off the hook there against Auburn. I mean, they really did on that one. And whether the refs had something to do with it or not, I mean, it really is up to Pope to make sure his guys are ready to play. And I just don't know how long the Kentucky brass are going to give him, especially when, they could maybe throw some major money out there to one of these other names like we've mentioned and so forth like that. Would Kentucky throw a lot of money at a Tommy Lloyd? Would Tommy Lloyd leave Arizona? I'm just saying these things out loud, and so forth. So, but just something to think about. But when I look at Tennessee, though, they've got to be consistent. Like you said, they can't turn the ball over. They've got to make sure that they're making the shots. And the other thing is we've got to find that third scorer to complement, because like I said, if Gillespie's shot's not on or Amen's in foul trouble and you're not getting anything from your post, then what do you do at this point? But like you said, Tennessee's defense always will keep them in the games and slow those fast-paced teams down. Go ahead, though. So
I think Estrella coming back helps. And I don't think you need a third scorer with one person. The other day at Vanderbilt, you had Amen and you had Gillespie, but you had contributions, Boswell, Evans. Yeah. You found other guys. You may not get a third scorer in theory in one person, but if you could combine a third scorer, that helps out too. And I think they could do that. And I can see that more of that. I don't see anybody being dominant, but I think Estrella being back is a huge thing for the inside. Getting his feet wet last night was good. Alabama is a good effort. And like I said, Saturday night with Alabama, it's going to be rock. The place is going to be rocking. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Tennessee, looking at their schedule, they've got to take care of business for the home games. I mean, Alabama a given on Saturday, Vanderbilt another given. But realistically, there's that sneaky contest in between with an ass cheeks team in South Carolina. But South Carolina always gets up for Tennessee. But Tennessee needs to put the foot on the throat, man, when they play next week. They really
think Tennessee will. I don't think South Carolina will pose as much of a problem to Tennessee as people think they're going to. So I've had a chance to watch them all year, and they can score, but they have droughts too when they can't score. My God, their droughts are worse than anybody. The other night against Kentucky, they went 8 minutes without scoring a basket.
They're awful.
8 minutes.
They're atrocious. They really are. And I couldn't believe that they won the other night against, was it Mississippi State they beat or whatever? And I was like, what the hell happened there? I mean, Mississippi State should be ashamed of themselves because I know that they only have Hubbard, but they can't play defense, like you said. I mean, that's terrible. That's awful. So, yeah, I mean, and like I said, these 4 leagues, I mean, we've mentioned the ACC, we've talked about the Big 12 and the SEC. The Big 10 might be more top heavy, I mean, we've mentioned Michigan and Illinois. Obviously, Michigan State with Izzo is always going to be a factor. We hate them, but Purdue, is going to be a pain in the ass. Nebraska, they've kind of fallen off a little bit, but the thing is they're still going to be in the tournament. They're still a solid ball club. But, you look at the Big 10 tournament, that's going to be interesting of how that shakes out, if it is going to be Michigan. But I will say this, I was interested to see what Michigan's guy, Morris Johnson, said after the Duke game. He said this, he said, nobody in the Big Ten plays defense the way those guys do, talking about Duke. And so Michigan's been putting belts to asses to people there in that conference. And it'd be intriguing to see how that plays out, playing 3 games in a row. And again, like you said, it's all about matchups. But do you think it's Michigan's to lose, or do you see somebody maybe sneaking in there in the Big Ten tournament, or maybe a Wisconsin who's been sneaky good as well, and so forth?
I think it's Michigan's to lose. I look at Michigan scheduling this bit. This has been really unbelievable. Last week, you go to Purdue, beat Purdue in a tough game. You got Duke on a neutral site. Who do they got? And then this week they got.
They had Minnesota, which was a tough. That was a hangover game, but they still
that's
found
the
a way
hangover
to
game.
win. Yes, and now they got to go to Illinois. Then they go to Iowa, and then I believe they finish up at home with Michigan State. So, I mean, what a fucking,
what a gauntlet they got to run through.
Yeah, gauntlet right there. So, I mean.
And the Big Ten tournament is in Chicago. So that's another step for them to go. They got a chance to play in Chicago twice if everything works out for them well. They got a chance to play. Their road could be Buffalo. They should be Chicago for the Big Ten tournament, Buffalo, Chicago, then Indianapolis for the Final Four.
Look at that. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. It's all about the geographic region.
Yep.
I don't know where the Big 12 tournament is. It traditionally is in Kansas City
or
whatever.
Kansas City again, yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Houston is going to get used to, it'll be in Kansas City. So, somebody like a Houston or an Arizona, for example, they'll have Kansas City, and then both those teams, one is going to go to San Diego, one's going to go to Oklahoma City, and then they could both, depending on where they go, Houston will end up in Houston, and you look at Arizona, they are going to end up in San Jose, who has the West region this year, and so forth. So there's not going to be a lot of travel there. It's more so that it's about just taking care of business in these geographical regions and getting used to these big time matchups. And knock on wood, your guys can hold up, because it's going to be a lot of basketball. And I can't think of so many competitive games that you're going to get before you even get to the big dance. I mean, it's going to be a grind, and it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that's one thing about the college basketball. And then the tournament always comes down to, can you win 6, or can you win 2?
Can you win 6
on
games?
every 3 weekends? Like make it like a 2-pod system type of a thing. So
win 3 2-game tournaments.
3 2-game tournaments. I like that. Yeah,
that's what it is. 3 2-game tournaments. You win 3 of them, you're the national champion.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Well, and we've talked about it a little bit, but I want to get into it a little bit more right now. Who would you, I know we said that it could be anywhere between 1 to 16, 17 teams, but I want you to give me 8 contenders and 8 pretenders, and I'll give you mine and so forth. So go ahead. So,
okay. My 8 contenders: Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, UConn, Houston, Florida, and I'm going to throw Gonzaga in there.
Okay, I like
the mid-majors. That's my 8.
Okay,
I'm going to throw Gonzaga in there, because Gonzaga, Mark Few's been to a Final Four. He knows what it takes to get there. Only thing he hasn't done is win the title.
Yeah.
My 8 pretenders, and this is mostly due, I think the matchups are not going to work out well for them. I think Illinois in the long end, I think they're on the fringe. It depends on what matchups they get. I think these 8 pretenders, I'm only going to put them as pretenders because it's the matchups. They got to get the right matchups. Michigan State, I don't think they're as defensive sound as they are. I don't think they could get in an offensive track meet with any of the 8 teams in front. Nebraska, the bloom is off the rolls with Nebraska. They're tough. They're a good offensive team. I think their defense lacks quite a bit. St. John's is too inconsistent. They look great at one end, and then tonight they got beat.
They got absolutely blasted. I mean, absolutely blasted. So, yeah.
If you had asked me 2 weeks ago about Texas Tech, I would have said contender. JT Toppin, that knocks them down to pretender, because I'm sorry, you can't make up for that one player is such a difference maker.
Yeah.
Alabama's too inconsistent for me. They have the shooting highs of highs, but then the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
Arkansas's too helter-skelter. As
Mm-hmm.
tremendous athletes as they are, there are times they don't play defense either. And my last one's North Carolina. Caleb,
Mm-hmm.
now that's going to be predicated. If Caleb Wilson can be healthy,
Facts.
that's a difference between a contender and a pretender.
Mm-hmm.
But that injury to him, that sucks too, because he was just playing at he's playing at a phenomenal level. And there's something about a hand injury, even though it's his non-shooting hand, it's still going to impact him.
Mm-hmm.
That's still going to impact him, and it's going to be hard for him playing with a cast.
Yeah,
So
and he can't block shots correctly, and then even the contact is gonna hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, I mean, so you could re-aggravate it, so it
Yep.
sucks.
Or do worse to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really can't disagree with you. I mean, I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna look at this below real quick. Let me give you the contenders in my opinion. Okay, I've got Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, Houston, UConn, Florida. My eighth contender, I'm actually gonna go just a tad outside the box. And I'm actually going to go with Illinois only because I think that was a fluke against UCLA. I think that we're going to see what Illinois is really all about. And I like how they're coached. I like their European guys that they could really bring some toughness and experience. They're an older team, which you might need in March and so forth when the chips are against you. So let's see how they do. That would be my 8. Now, here are my pretenders, okay? I don't think much of Nebraska. I think they've had a nice season, but I think that, like you said, when the matchups happen, that's going to be a team that's just not going to be there. Purdue, I think, is a total pretender. I think that, like BT said about Gonzaga, sure, the matchups depend on it, but if the one guy's not on, they have lost games inexplicably, and that could be their downfall. I think that Michigan State and Kansas have the big names next to them, but I don't think they have the consistency. They have the coaching, and there's a lot to be said about this tournament and coaching. But again, you can do all the X's and O's and you want, but if the Jimmies and Joes aren't there to play and they're going up against a team that is ready to play, then it's over. St. John's, like you said, total pretender. I agree with you about the North Carolina. I would almost like to do a third category, the what if, and I would even put a team like a Tennessee on a what if,
I would definitely put them in the what if category.
Yes, another team that Arkansas would be a what if team to me if they can put it together. But pretenders, Louisville's a total pretender. They're just going to jack threes, and if they are not falling, they're going to be an easy out. Alabama again, and then unfortunately, like you said, Texas Tech with JT Toppin, they would have been my 8th team. But easily. Now with him out, I mean, I say that they probably will maybe win the first 2 games, if that, but they would have been a dangerous Sweet 16 opponent with JT Toppin, and now they might just be a team that just won't have the height inside against some of these teams like a Florida or a Duke in a rematch or someone like that. So, but that's what I think. So, yeah. So, yeah. I did want to say, hey, what's up, Anthony? How you doing? He also wanted to bring up the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. They're overrated. That conference, that play is not as great as the media is making them out to be. I will say this, Anthony, to be fair to them, to go undefeated in anything is something. You have the schedule that's in front of you. They'll make the tournament. Obviously, like Two Pair said, the college football playoff is one thing. College basketball, you might get some upsets, but I think that with how so many of the little guys' best players are, now on the rotations of some of these big teams, those Cinderellas aren't really going to happen that much, Kerry. And you saw what happened at poor St. Louis last night. They got absolutely blasted.
They got hammered.
And they have a great coach. They've had a nice story this year. But when it comes to it, what can they really do when they're matched up with the contenders and even some of these what-if teams we've mentioned tonight? I mean, honestly. So it's going to be a team that has everything, the coaching, the experience. You can shoot yourselves out of a ball game, but the other thing, too, is if you've got defense, you can do anything. You really can. So, but there's that. So, as we continue, I wanted to wait for the other guys to bring this up so we can talk. We can talk about that a little bit. And then again, if you've been watching, whether you've been watching live or recorded, please smash that button and share us. One thing I did want to touch on because I didn't get to last night, but you brought it up, and I think that it does need to be brought up a little bit. The Joey Aguilar case ended last week. The Knoxville judge said that his eligibility is over after a lengthy battle. Was it time to move forward, as the judge said to Joey? Here's my problem with it, is that what makes Trinidad Chambliss's case so much more better?
Agreed.
I mean,
what made Diego Pavia's case more?
Yes. And this other kid who I just saw on the news is trying to get a 7th year somewhere. I looked it up, and I was just thinking to myself, why is he trying to get a 7th year? And if he's granted the 7th year, why the hell is Joey Aguilar not allowed to get the 6th year or whatever like that? And again, I'm just saying that. Why is it that Tennessee, it's always so damn hard for a decision to go our way with something? And for other teams, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to play that card, but we are as unlucky as shit. We really are when it comes to things like this. So, yeah. And yet Mississippi is going to get the benefit from Trinidad Chambliss. If he gives me the thumbs up, I'm ready to bring him on or what have you. Because he was a little bit busy, but I know that he's got a lot to talk about tonight. But listen, I'm going to give him the proper introduction he deserves because he is the day one that started this with me. But listen, Mr. West 2003. And I'm going to rib him a little bit because Miami finally got that Florida State game over last night. But what the hell uniforms was Florida State wearing? When did they start getting light blue? Where's that damn maroon or the scarlet and gray I'm just like saying where's the colors of Florida State, man? I'm just saying. But anyway, I love you though, brother. But just finished his 20th season announcing the Running Rebels and Lady Rebels got honored and deservedly got honored for that. And also calling the Panthers and Lady Panthers. But the one, the only, he's on mute right now, so hopefully he unmutes himself. The one, the only, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate is in the house, baby.
What's up, big game? What's
up, man?
Man, I actually got done doing the intro, and I said I was gonna be running late tonight, and I feel bad because y'all put up hours worth of incredible content. James,
I hope we did you right. We were trying to talk about all these teams, and it's going to be an exciting March. But we've talked enough.
It is going to be an exciting March, man. Just because I wanted to touch on what y'all talking about right now with the Joey Aguilar case.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it up. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk about. You let me know.
I feel like how many years of eligibility did he have?
This would have been 5, or he had 5, so he was trying to get a 6th year.
Yeah, this would have been a 6.
5 trying to get a 6th year. So
would that have been the COVID year, or was he during that time of COVID? Would he have been?
Where was he in junior college?
Was he still in college during COVID?
I think he was in junior college.
Junior
so
college.
He was in junior college. So should that be a part? That's my thing with the junior college, and now that you're saying that the kid doesn't have they don't see it as eligibility. That's where I kind of, I would side with Joey, because I'm gonna have to say there's a lot of times that he kept that team in football games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if you're gonna be able to rely on McIntyre or Brandon, or I don't think that they're. I don't know if they're ready to, because the expectations. Because if Heupel puts up a 8-5, a 9-5, or 9-4, and they're not 10 games and they're not fighting for a playoff spot, it's like the seat shouldn't become hot for, like, do you know how hard it is to, like, seriously compete for it? Like, one thing I will say about the teams that competed this year, like the Miamis, the Georgias, they were always consistently in games.
Yes.
They were always Ole Miss consistently in games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not consistently in games where you don't have a quarterback that has seen some battles, like Aguilar was battle tested. Aguilar was battle tested.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And can I say this too, Pierre? Let's talk about this, the elephant in the room, before you jumped on. Listen, dynamic player. We even sung his praises on any show that's been on this platform, talking about Trinidad Chambliss. What did Ole Miss have? What did Ole Miss have if Trinidad Chambliss doesn't come back? They went from literally the number 17 team preseason to now a top 8 possible CFP just by that decision. What does that do if you get a Joey Aguilar back for Tennessee with
Tennessee's
the excitement? That's what I'm saying.
Yep,
the excitement
easily.
of having a new defensive coordinator.
Wars.
Yes.
He's been in wars. He knows what it is to go down to Alabama and throw a pick 6 before halftime. He's got the mental notes of that. He know what it is to lose to Georgia when you did everything to beat Georgia.
And he might have a better wide receiver room. And he might have a better wide receiver room this year with the talent coming in, because let me tell you this. Look what Jeremiah Smith did as a freshman. Look what Malachi Toney did as a freshman. You don't have to wait 3 years. If these guys have it, these guys have it. And you unleash them, man. That's what you do.
I'm starting to see, like, I will say this year for freshmen in college basketball.
Oh, talk about it, baby.
It has been phenomenal.
Yes.
I wanna say this. I don't know if y'all touched on high school basketball.
Oh, we were waiting for you. We were waiting for you. So wait, hold on. Look at this. I even have it right here. The high school report with 2-pair Tate right there. Look at that. I've been waiting to use that banner. So
all right. That. So with the high school report, I do want to say West fought valiantly. That Central team, they just got on the roll. That
Central team's good.
The third
They've been
quarter
building for this for 4 years, so they had to do it. But go ahead. So I mean,
that Central group had been together for a minute. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They've had some battles. You know what I'm saying? They had battles.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
This is my favorite time of the year. I love the high school playoffs, man. The districts and the regionals. I love this time.
Yeah, Fulton just beat Austin East tonight, I think, for the district last night. Last night. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll tell you what.
When I tell you, let me tell you, Austin East and Fulton bring out some of the funniest, worst people on social media of all time. Because this is what I want to know. Did y'all have that much school spirit when you went to Austin East or Fulton? That's what I want to know, but I'm just joking.
I'm going to tell you something too, Pear. That's the one rivalry. I've done more games in that rivalry than any other rivalries. Fulton and AE basketball.
Man, it's a great rivalry.
I did I go back to the days of the old gym. And I got a story to tell you about them robbing the pizza man. It was packed and they robbed the pizza man because they ran out of food. They ran out of food at the old gym and they robbed the pizza man. I have to tell you that story somewhere down the line. But it was that rivalry is unbelievable.
Oak Ridge and West.
Again, man. I mean, can we not escape these guys? I mean, what the hell, man? We are tied at the damn hip with this school. And it's always, man. It was even like that back in the day when we had Tukey and we had to play them all the time, man. It's like, what the hell?
How many regionals did I have with Oak Ridge and West?
It's the reason because Oak Ridge and West, you think about it.
Yep.
Those Oak Ridge and West have been what they've been in the district, the regions. Like, and you know, it's like, it's not a rivalry as much, but when it's region time, it is. Because
they're in our way. They're always in
Yeah,
the race.
when Norris was there, when he had Quincy Dowdell, Jared Stevens, DeMarcus Rock, like all those dudes, Ravel Coffey, Josh Gregory, now you look at some of the players in this series, and I won't say this: Robert Schuler, first team All District, Kalu Fofana,
Well
50
deserved. Well
points.
deserved.
And here's the funny thing: we were saying how good Kalu was gonna be his freshman year.
I mean, to get minutes on that loaded team, and even last year, we saw it. We knew. And now, next year is going to be his team. You know what I mean? His team.
But my thing is, he has reminded me of Kimball Walker throughout this whole tourney run.
And the scary part is, I don't think he's gotten to his great part yet. I think there's more for him to be great.
Just scratching the surface with him.
I want to tell you this, though.
That's how scary that kid is.
His brother Musa is right behind him.
That's what somebody was mentioning. His brother could ball too.
So my question is this: if Kalu is the prince, who is what's Moose? What's his nickname?
He's the prime minister.
Prime minister, baby.
He's the prime minister.
I love it.
Yeah, Kalu is the prince of Zamunda, and his brother Musa is the prime minister.
Is he semi like it coming to America? Is he like?
No, he's not semi.
That was on the other night, and I was just dying laughing.
He's not semi.
Is he like semi?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
No, it was on the other night, and I was dying laughing. So,
that's a good one.
Yeah. That came to my mind quick. You said Zamunda. That just came to my mind.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so proud of the West Side kids, man.
They fought hard, man.
Should be, man.
Because I'm gonna say this: nobody thought that they could get to the championship game, except if you went to West.
Except them.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Only people that thought that were us on this show. The guy behind me, who, for what it's worth, I think he did a better coaching job this year.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. Because here's the thing.
This year is better than last year.
Because we talked about that last year. It's like, okay, is it because he got such a loaded roster, or was it really the X's and O's? This was his best job this year. Because you had 9 seniors to replace, and look what you've done.
He proved a lot to me because look how well Liam Purnell started playing. If Jackson Cantanella doesn't get hurt, the Prince of Thieves, how he was coming off that bench, TJ Falejo off that bench, Jackson Rose, Braxton Rose, the tree 1 and tree 2, Paxton Tedford, who is a freshman, came off the bench. The dude got 3 nicknames just because of the way he was playing. Pushy P. Tedford, all these kids, man, and it was. And then you even lose a player during the season. You lose a player
We've had some bad luck too, Pear, the last 3 years. I mean, we lost
Nelson.
I mean, you lose. I mean, is that and then what about last year with our guy
Reese
Clark? Reese. And then what about the year before with Dane? That hurt us mid-season, and then you tried to integrate him back in, and Dane was not ready to go. I mean, I hate
the way Dane Britton's senior year ended because Dane Britton was getting a lot of offers. He broke his wrist. And it was like all the offers for the kid I just remember a lot of college coaches kept asking me, how's his wrist? How's his wrist? And I would tell them, I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to ever be the same. I don't know if he's going to be the same player.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and that injury,
he was out. Dane didn't come back to the district tournament.
Yeah, he didn't come back literally till that last week. And then remember, that was during that whole Snowmageddon crap where they're trying to fit 7 games in 11 days. And we were so beat the hell out of in a loaded region. I mean, I'm not making excuses. It just was not. I mean, because when he got hurt in that tournament, we had only lost 1 game. And, and then we go into that Alcoa game, and they have, Javin Carter and all that and so forth.
Who's busting? He's busting.
He's amazing. We knew he was going to be good. We knew he was going to be good.
He is kicking. He's kicking ass at MTSU.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
And so,
all the local kids. That's what I want to say, man. I want to say this.
We got talent here. I'm
going to say this while we're on here. All our local kids that went through B-Mays Elite, that went through the Tennessee Travelers, that you know what I mean, that have played in these AAU circles. You look at Jacoby Gillespie at UT. You look at BJ Edwards at SMU. You look at Blue Kane at Georgia. You look at you see how many names I'm just rattling off.
Yep. I watched him play Vanderbilt tonight with Georgia. So
these are
Blue
all
Kane.
Kids,
yeah,
these are all kids from our area.
Yeah. What about the kid that plays at SMU that played at Catholic?
BJ Edwards.
BJ
Edwards. Him. Yeah, him.
Mr. Triple Double.
Yep, he's really good. Going to get SMU into the NCAA tournament. So yeah.
But I'm just proud. I'm proud that we're covering our kids, and I want to shout out 5-Star Preps because the write-up on Kalu was just hooping. He was 16 and 17 from the free throw line.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is impressive, man.
I mean, when somebody told me he scored 50 points, I thought it was a joke. I thought Celeste was trying to pull my leg. I thought I didn't get to go to the game.
You were in Nashville. Weren't you in Nashville? No, because I was in Nashville. I mean, look, I've been traveling this entire month, and I did it at the beginning of the show. Shout out to Carrie for holding it down for us. I knew this month was going to be busy for me. I mean, look, guys, I win a trophy. I'm in Nashville, and I win the GOAT award for my company. Not even 300 days, man. Not even 300 days. The best in the company for the quarter already.
But, man, you deserve it, man.
Exactly.
And I feel like what we built here, and the way we've covered high school, college, pro, I don't think you get a podcast where it's more so much for the fan experience, because a lot of the kids who watch our podcast, they actually love the fact that we talk about them. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
I would have never thought that my high school is gonna let me get on here on Wednesday night, talk shit, and it doesn't reflect the views of West High School.
Yep.
It doesn't.
It's our views. It's our views.
I can't even believe, and then we teach media training to the kids after the games by doing the interviews.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, if you would have told me this would have happened when I graduated high school, I would have never believed you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and let me tell you this, brother. You talk about awards that were well deserved. For you to get that at the end of your 20th season, it was so well deserved. I had a tear in my eye, and like I said, man, you listen. You are. I mean this. I meant it when I said it that night, and I will stand by it. You have been the heartbeat of that school since the moment you walked in there in 1999, man. I swear to God.
So all the kids, all the players, like former coaches, this was so cool, man. Like they signed the basketball, man, and
well deserved.
Well deserved.
I'm just
well deserved.
I'm honored. Kalu wrote the print. This is crazy, man. Like, I'm truly honored. I'm blessed, bro. Like,
you should be.
I'm truly blessed because
you should.
I enjoy announcing basketball, but announcing at West got me to UT. Yep. Announcing at West got me to Mississippi State.
Yeah,
it did. You know what I'm saying? And then, I just been able to be on radio for so long, and now we get to talk shit about the other schools. We get to go to hold on, y'all. Do y'all understand? We get to film during spring ball. Like we go on the road to the other stadium and film. Like what other high school does that?
No, for sure. I mean, well,
what school does it?
Well, and I did want to touch on Fofana's 50 because if I'm not mistaken, isn't it Marvin? Isn't it Bustle that still has the record for 53?
Marlon Bustle has the record for 53.
So he was very close to breaking that 53 record that has been in place since 97, pretty much. Almost a 30-year record at this point.
Shout out to Marlon Bustle, man.
Marlon Bustle, baby. So there you go.
The great Marlon Bustle.
They're great. But no, I mean, and like I said, Oak Ridge better pack their lunch on Saturday, man. That's all I'm going to say. They better not think that they're just going to roll over this West team because they're scrappy, and you give West a chance to keep believing. They might take down Oak Ridge, honestly. And it's crazy because I was looking at their region on their side or whatever, and what was it? Bearden obviously is going to be the 1 seed, and Farragut was the 2 seed, if I'm not mistaken. So Oak Ridge got the 3 seed, and I think McMinn County's the 4. So Central's playing McMinn County.
Do they have a Van Acker for Farragut?
It's the same guys. He's a senior this year or whatever like that.
Is it Dominic Van Acker?
I think it's the last one, yeah.
He's the last Van Acker?
Yeah. And unless the sister's still on the girls' team, that's always good. So
that's
the sister's still there. I mean, they got a whole litter of them over there.
Bro,
so
their whole family. Hey,
I can play ball.
The Van Acker family.
Shout out to the parents.
They gotta be an incredible group of people, bro. Like just the way they were so friendly and nice when they came to West. They were so cool, man. They were really a joy, man. Like
I'll take their fans any day over Catholics people, man. Those people, oof, I don't know. I have to always
what? The football fans make me think differently though. Like
the football is different. Basketball, different story because we've seen the worst of the worst.
Except for my man Pat Walden. Pat Walden. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy.
He's a good dude. No, he's
got
a good
Barron.
dude.
But see, I got a lot of friends at all these high schools. All these people I know. Like I done seen them 20 years.
Oh yeah. So for sure. Well, and I'm gonna have to go obviously check out a couple of Catholic games this year for sure if I get the chance. I mean, I'm gonna be traveling a lot with this new role with my job and so forth. So I'm very excited about it. But it's also gonna take away from the other stuff that I have been doing. But I've got to do what I got to do for the family. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. So, but when I'm in town, I'm gonna make it count. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. And obviously, we got some guys that started out at West, and now they have an opportunity at Catholic, and I have a lot of love for those kids too. So I hope that they have great seasons coming up too.
It's rough. It's rough seeing those kids leave West to go to Cat, but I understand why.
Yeah, and JP going to Maryville, I get it. I
hope James Stallion. I hope they don't make a documentary on what happened to West because it could be worse than the Diddy documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might. Apparently, ESPN is going to be releasing this documentary on the U about Rashawn Jones killing Brian Pata or whatever. I'm not saying it's that bad, but this is going to be a really sad 30 for 30 that it took many years to arrest a teammate that killed a player, and ESPN is going to be releasing that very soon for another documentary on Miami. Another documentary on Miami.
No, in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
One of my good friends did not know about the Brian Pata.
So it happened in 2007. Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
Defensive lineman for Miami, Brian Pata, got killed at his apartments.
Mm-hmm. Actually, 2006. My bad, buddy. 2006 because Taylor died in 2007. My bad. So,
Sean Taylor died in 2007.
Yeah.
Right. So 2006, Brian Pata is pulling up to his apartment complex. He's pulling up to his apartment complex, and he gets shot.
Yep.
And nobody knew about this until 20 years later.
It was 2019. It came out right before COVID. It came out. So yeah. They finally made an arrest, and it was his own teammate.
The one
that died must have been winning. He must have been just.
Oh, Brian Patter was about to be in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was about to be in the NFL.
Patter?
That was a pure hate murder.
Patter was NFL level defensive lineman.
Wow. Yep. He had been a 3-year starter for Miami, and it was over a girl. And he was killed by a backup safety named Rashawn Jones.
Didn't I just say it about a hater?
Yep.
He beat them on the field and with the women. That's too much for some people to handle.
Too much to handle.
Well, and you know what's crazy? There's a picture, and you can look it up. There's a picture right before the final game that would have been Brian Patta's senior night, and it was ironically the last game Larry Coker coached for Miami. They were playing Boston College. It was at the Orange Bowl, and literally at the 50-yard line, they've got a picture of all the seniors with Brian Patta, and there's Rashawn Jones looking right at him with this look in his eyes, and it's like, that's the dude that killed him, and you're right there holding the thing, like acting like you didn't do nothing, and it's the creepiest picture ever.
That is
like,
so
honestly.
sad.
True story. So there's going to be a documentary about that, but sorry to go off topic with that, but it's a shame. No, but it's a shame that if they do make a documentary about all of this that happened, unfortunately, in this last year. And, it's crazy. This time last year, we were talking about how excited we were for spring ball and the revenge tour and everything like that. Little did we know what the hell was about to happen.
I feel like we need to do something where we go back to those past episodes and chronologically, like,
they're on there. They're on YouTube. They are there. Yeah.
We just need to find the clip. Like, we need to clip certain ones.
Yeah.
Like, when we're talking about, because I feel like that's going to be something kids are going to watch, like, or people are going to watch from years to come. Because, man, when West was winning back to back, we
were untouchable, dude.
We were untouchable, man.
Like, this was a thing. Like, I would see the players getting dinner bought for them. They waffle, like, they were winning. Like,
two pair.
Winning.
I don't even
want to. You go to these games, the games would be over before they started.
Yes.
Like, that was a crazy
29-1 with the two teams or what have you. And if you really want to go at it, the
29-1.
29-1 during the two championship years. If you want to do the 4 years, they went to the state semifinals and lost to Powell and Walter Nolan. But that team only lost 3 games. They go undefeated the next year. The next year they go 14-1, win 2 state titles, and then they, on a controversial call in the 3rd round, and were ready to go for a three-peat that had never been done in 5A football and still has not been done because Sevier County lost. They would have won 3 in a row, man. 3 in a row. So, yeah. And it's an insane record.
If there was instant replay and they reversed that call, do you think that we would rule out that was a touchdown by Burdine?
It was a touchdown. It was a touchdown, and Lamar told me flat out the next day he would have gone for 2, no questions asked. Because when you have Messiah Wren back there, then you're going to definitely give it to him to win the game.
You're going for the win.
So you're going for the win. So and that's it. I mean, he was going to go for 2, so he wasn't going to go to another overtime.
I don't want to harp on it too much, but
of course,
I look at the coaches and that coaching staff, and it just like it all crumbled.
Oh yeah. It was a ricochet effect. I mean, it all crumbled, and unfortunately, and shout out to JP Peace. He was on a podcast, and he's going to be at Maryville, and they're going to still have him at linebacker over there and so forth to get him ready for Tennessee. He was talking about, and I can understand it. I mean, I hate it. I would have loved for them to come back at West and do their thing, and I hope they've made right decisions for them. I want all these kids to do well. I don't care who they play for. So,
I really wish Peace would have, you know what I'm saying, just stuck it out. And you know what I mean? I really do, but
But I get
understand.
it. I get it.
You know what I mean? That's
kind
of hard to
it's
go
tough.
from 2 state titles.
Yeah.
You are the man.
Yeah.
You got to go to UT. Then the head coach is asked to leave.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Head coach asked to leave. The assistant coach is thrown in jail. Another assistant coach thrown in jail.
Yep.
It just was a crazy domino effect, and it was.
Hey, Two Pair, if you want to be real, why don't we look back at that episode that what was it? Pork Chop and James were up there in the press box, arm in arm, the four of us, after the belts to ass we put to Science Hill in that spring game. You just talk about the excitement right there and how it just went kaput. Not 36 hours later. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It was great,
man. Unbelievable, man. So,
to this day, I don't believe it happened because I saw it in real time.
Yeah. Oh, it feels like a nightmare that we've not woken up from. I mean, that was the worst month of my life.
That
honestly.
shit was like one assistant coach goes to jail. The other assistant was. That's why, like, when basketball season came around, it felt like it was finally removing a cloud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the girls worked hard. You got, I want to say Charlie Freeman got all tournament.
Yeah, a lot of girls got all district first or second teams. I mean, and shout out to the Gravedigger for doing his thing, you know. And here's the other thing too. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, you know. And I want to give a shout out to Coach Castro and the girls soccer team because they did a phenomenal job and got screwed up in Science Hill on a call when the goal was clearly there. And I'm not saying they win the whole thing. That Bearden team was loaded, but damn, it would have been nice to bring back a silver ball and runner up if we maybe we get one on Bearden again. I don't know, but we beat them in the regular season, the first game. But the fact is, we got cheated up there in Science Hill when that girls team had every right to be right in the state championship with Bearden. And a controversial call screwed that group team. You know,
their girls soccer team was
I loved watching them. They were great. So
they were great.
Shout out to Coach Castro. Shout out to Coach Castro.
Yes,
for
definitely.
sure. So, yeah. Absolutely. So, but yeah, you know, I mean, but like I said, I hope the basketball team beats Oak Ridge on Saturday. We owe them one because we've lost the last 2 years to them, you know, and we had some really good teams, and I know they had some good teams.
When they played the end of the road,
that pissed me off.
I'm not gonna lie. When they played the end of the road, that was that was some gamesmanship. I'm not even gonna lie. That's cold.
That is cold.
It was.
And you know what? I'm not mad because I still remember it, and I know Oak Ridge people, and I love it. Because you got to come to West this time.
Well, that's true. That is true. So at least we're not in the Terror Dome because that's what the hell I call that place, the damn Terror Dome or whatever. So
the thing is, Oak Ridge people show up.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Do you want to know something? Can I tell you this? I'm gonna give Two Pair some love. You talk about the 20 years, and like I said, this guy's had a microphone since he walked into West in 1999. But I'm gonna give you some love, Two Pair. So let's go back to the 2012 badass West High team, the only team that's won a region tournament championship. Shout out to our guy. J1 and the Milkman and that group and Skywalker and all of them, Calvin Walker, all our guys over there.
Smith, those guys.
But I'm gonna tell you this. So Two Pair, we're hosting. So Oak Ridge comes to us. Two Pair goes, Atomic City, are you ready? They got their students and parents. Woo! I'm in the stands, and he goes, Marble City, are you ready? And man, that is where Marble City really took off. I have ran with that ever since about the Marble City boys. And the baseball team now refers to themselves as the Marble City boys when they take the diamond now. So
let me say this about the baseball team.
They're good. They're gonna be good.
That is a hard working group. Like it's
great coaches too. Good guys.
But you know what I think it is? I think it's the Tennessee baseball effect.
Yep. It is. Hell yeah, man, hell yeah. So
have you been over to see Lindsey
Tennessee winning
Nelson?
the national championship. All these young kids and starting to get better at baseball.
Hey,
well, and West, especially the
Like
fall
out
ball,
of
man, is good.
nowhere.
Go ahead, Kerry. Go ahead.
Have
Go
you
ahead,
been
Cam.
over to the new Lindsey Nelson? I'm gonna tell you what. Go over to the new Lindsey Nelson. Check it out. It's unbelievable, man. It is unbelievable.
It ain't even the same damn field when we were there in college in the mid 2000s, man.
No,
There's
it's
no
not.
way, man. I mean that like no offense, I could walk in there after class. I would do a little shooting for the TVC because I did the on campus channel and everything like that. And I mean, you could walk in there. Nobody was there. Now, that's the toughest still, the damn ticket. I mean, I know they had a tough one this past weekend. And listen, before Tennessee fans jump off the bandwagon, man, Kent State is going to be in the freaking NCAA tournament. So, listen.
They may be in Omaha. They may have
Tennessee's
a lot of
going to get –
Omaha, yeah.
Look, you don't want to peak in February in baseball. You need to be playing your best damn ball in May and June, okay? That's when it really counts. So give this guy a chance before everybody starts going nuts. I mean, shit.
But Tennessee, as long as they can have great pitching, they're going to be a tough.
They're going to be fine.
And the hitting needs to be there in June, okay? I mean, I see. Look, I love my Miami Canes like anything. We're putting belts to asses 26 to whatever against these teams. Now Miami's got to play the Gators Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I want to see if you can at least muster 5 runs because it's the Gators and they've owned you these last 10 years.
But
I know
I've
suffered through that as a Miami fan for baseball. But
I've really felt like that is the college baseball effect because the teams around here have gotten so much. But like Farragut is the standard.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out real quick to our boys soccer team. They handled Sevier County last night 4-1. And shout out to our lacrosse team. I forget who they were playing. They put belts to asses to
like 23-0?
26-0 was the last I looked before I jumped on here. So yeah, they were whipping some ass tonight, the lacrosse team. So yeah, I was proud of them. Yeah, I get those alerts.
West got a lacrosse team.
Yeah. They got everything. They got girls flag football. They got, women's lacrosse. I mean, they got everything, man. That's a shout out to
West
Paul
High
Romero right there, man. That's a shout out to our athletic director. He's made sure to get all these kids involved in awesome sports that are definitely played.
I will say this, man. Paul Romero, man. I really want to give him a big shout out.
Shout out to him, man.
I didn't expect all the kids to do that, and man, I'm honored, man. I'm honored and blessed because.
Well, and like I said, man, you've been the heartbeat of that school since you walked in there in 1999, and it's longer than 20 years, but officially 20 years. And I couldn't be more proud to call you not only my friend but my brother. Honestly,
I appreciate that, man.
Sure. For sure. So
that is
absolutely.
That means so
cool,
much, man. That means
because
life is so short,
Tell me,
brother, have you seen some of these big time actors? I mean, we haven't had many consistent shows because of all the traveling and the stuff we've been going on. And James Vanderbeek, we lost another Varsity Blues guy, man, from movies that we quote. We lost
Robert
him.
Duvall.
We lost Robert Carradine.
We lost a nerd. We lost the Revenge of the
Nerds.
Revenge
of the Nerds. We lost Robert Carradine. Something that hit home, man. Something that hit home was
we got to talk about it. Hold on, I got a banner for it. I do. All right. I got a banner for it. There it is, man. Right.
Our friend Wes Rucker.
I didn't want to believe it when I got that text message.
Exactly.
Night, I was in Nashville. Oh, brother.
I thought it was a prank. I honestly thought it was a prank. I'm like, there's no way this could have happened.
When somebody told me Wes Rucker died, I was sitting like right around here, and I just instantly thought of all the stuff me and Wes used to talk about. Like when I first started announcing at UT, he would tell me like little stuff like, watch what Jeff Jarnigan does, and you know what I'm saying?
It's a walking encyclopedia of knowledge, man.
Tell me about it.
And after the Rocky Top games, it would be me, him, Mike Griffith, and like a couple of the UT players from time to time.
Yeah.
And what was so cool about Wes was, you know, he was just he was just like one of the people that gave you the real spill about life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
like he gave you the real spill about life, and he was such a good dude and great at what he did. Like all the players would always give Wes like any type of interview, like just
Mm-hmm.
hey
Yeah.
yo, he was
Can I?
just so phenomenal. It's
I
so
want to share. I want to share a story with you guys. Matt Giles is a guy that is the Duke beat writer, and he was heartbroken over it because apparently they had befriended each other in Orlando a few years ago when Tennessee beat Duke in the NCAA tournament, and apparently they traded notes, you know, before the game, like watch this player, like what you're talking about, and apparently they had a friendship afterwards and even collaborated at the preseason game this past year in Knoxville when Duke played Tennessee and met up with each other. And we're talking about next year at the return game at Cameron that's going to happen in the preseason. And it really broke his heart, and he even gave a tribute on his Twitter. So he was touching other beat writers for other teams that he had talked with, and just the respect there. And that just, and like I said, the guy tweeted out 6 hours before he passes away, literally, congrats to the U.S. women's team for the gold and everything like that in hockey. And then he's the accident that happens. I'm just like, I was floored. I was absolutely floored by it, honestly. So, yeah.
Because people kept saying it was an accident, and I was like, dang, it's an accident, like out west or whatever.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It held up traffic, and there were 5 cars involved. It was all started by a big truck. And Shane, you know, who I know he's had another commitment tonight, but it was his son that said, "Hey, Dad, look at all these," because they were seeing it from the extended stay that they stay at or whatever like that. Like they could see all the responding vehicles coming to it. Never in your wildest dreams would you think it was this guy that was involved. And he was the only one that passed, unfortunately. Not that we wanted to see anybody, but it was him
but he was the
of
only
all
one.
people. And he's got a baby on the way. He's got another young child that's had some issues, you know, with and he himself had some issues. And I can't even imagine what that poor wife is going through. And shout out to anybody that made the contributions of the $600,000 or whatever they tried to raise and everything. I mean, that was amazing to come out and really support this young family that's lost, you know, their rock more than anything. It's and 2 children will not have a father, unfortunately.
He got a lot of national attention over the weekend. Dick Vitale mentioned him during the Tennessee Vanderbilt game.
Sure
Jim
did.
Nance on the PGA Golf mentioned him out and named too, because you remember West covered Titan games. So when Jim Nance, who does NFL, he knew who he was and gave him a little thing during that PGA Golf. I mean, there were tributes coming from everywhere, man. And all the SEC reporters, Matt Jones in Lexington, some guys in Atlanta, Mississippi, all of them who knew Wes, who respected, loved Wes. Rick Barnes made it a point to mention after the Vanderbilt game to talk about Wes. He talked about it in a press conference. He talked about him on the radio. Half of the players, if you looked at their shoes during the game, a lot of them had Wes's name on their shoes.
And what about the baseball? They put a seat right there. They put the picture and they said this will always be Wes's spot.
Wes's seat. Yep.
Always Wes's seat.
They memorialized the seat just for Wes.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He touched everybody.
He touched everybody.
Everybody. Man. I mean, if I'm talking about a Duke beat writer that they met one time years ago in a tournament
touched me,
and stayed
man.
friends, he touched you. WBIR people.
When I first worked Rocky Top as security at Bearden High School, he was the first reporter I met.
Look at
I
that.
met him as a young reporter. Met him as a young reporter, man.
He just knew his stuff. He was a good dude.
He knew his stuff.
He was just a good dude.
Good dude. It's not. I don't understand this life, man.
Life is really not fair when
it's not.
It's not.
Like I'm talking about. He would give you the shirt off his back type.
Oh, easily. He give you the pants too.
Like, and I just remember when I first met him at the Rocky Top games, and we would just be talking basketball, life, and I know his sister Molly.
Yeah.
So
I knew Molly. I know Molly too.
and you know what I'm saying, Molly was one of my good friends at UT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and I just, man, it really fucks you up when you think
it does fuck you up.
it
Yeah.
fucks you up, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And now there's going to be a
fucks you up.
child born that will never know their father. I can't even picture
begin to
that, man.
fathom that.
I don't understand that. I don't.
I can't fathom that, man.
And it's like I just think, man, you know, there's some things in life that just ain't fair.
Yep.
There ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
Isn't.
There ain't.
And,
you know.
And a guy like that leaves this earth, bro. Like, it's
Tell me about it.
And I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I was traveling to Nashville on Thursday, the weather was horrendous. It was
it was terrible.
And like I said, that's why you always got to be careful. You know, no matter, it can even be a clear day. You just don't know. And I mean, I literally, you know, not to sound cliche, I do the sign of the cross when I leave the house because it's like you just don't know, man. It's not just you, but it's other people. And you just hope that everybody's, you know, sober or driving, you know, perfect, or I don't know the situation, but it's just unfortunate that this had to happen. And especially on such a dangerous day with all that bad weather that was going on and so forth.
I just learned.
I know coming back from Nashville, I got back home at like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And did you probably have the snow, right? The flurries, because I had flurries coming back over the plateau from Nashville Sunday. So man, I know.
The whole way home, I'm like, please let me get stuck.
Yeah. It just makes you think that we're not promised tomorrow.
Stuck in a blizzard.
Right there, Carrie. Right
we're
there.
We're not promised tomorrow, man.
No,
that just makes me think over and over and over. We're just not promised tomorrow.
We're not.
And
that's why, like, I really I'm glad we really get to talk and have these stories about.
Oh yeah.
Somebody who really touched this world, man. Like, it's not too many people I know that don't know him, or like he was the voice. He was the voice of the Tennessee fan.
Yep.
Yes.
Like,
yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
He was able to be reasonable, but also, you know, if you a fan of this, like I can understand why you're mad about this loss. Like he just, damn, man, let's rock.
Yeah,
I know.
We shouldn't even be having this conversation. Is what the truth of it is.
No, we shouldn't.
We shouldn't. No. If anything, that's somebody that could come on as a guest and talk to us about what he thinks of Tennessee's chances come March. You know, like we're on the doorstep of March Madness. That's the conversation.
And that's
not memorializing somebody.
That's one thing I'm gonna hate about doing this show, because I'm gonna always remember. I'm always gonna remember where I was, who I was with. Us talking about it, saying it in the group chat. I didn't even want to type it. You know what I mean?
I didn't either. I didn't either. And like I said, I just thought, is this like a hoax or some shit? You know, I was hoping.
I thought it was a prank.
Do we have the right Wes Rucker? Like, is it the right Wes Rucker?
I thought about Molly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought about his sister because that's her big brother.
That's her big brother. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I thought about his wife. Then I thought about Hank. Then I thought about like I just started thinking, and I'm like, damn, I got to have conversations with this man about you, like late night, y'all, like in Beard and Jim, everybody done left. He's still there getting interviews, and I'm still.
Hey, SEC Media Days one year. I remember SEC Media Days one year. He was the last reporter to leave. Paul Feinbaum kept a little track, see who was the last reporter to leave, and it turned out Wes was one of the last ones to leave one year, and he had Wes on his show quite a bit.
Let me tell you this. If I had an opportunity to cover a media days like that, you'd have to drag my ass.
Yeah, you'd have to drag me out.
I mean, if I had credentials and like as much access to everybody, and I just got a slew of information for the whole year, even before we even played one damn game, you bet your ass I'm there that long, you know? So and that's what the type of fan and guy he was. He was prepared. He always knew his stuff. and everything. And everybody across the board said that. Everybody. So
Everybody.
look at his writing. He was always prepared.
I'd love
He
to
knew
do our
everything.
show on Radio Row there. I'd love to do our show on on Advertising Row, Radio Row. How awesome would that be?
Of course it would. So yeah, I mean, I like I said, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. And
No.
like I said, we're not meant to understand this shit.
I really wanted to. I just wanted to shed some light, and
yeah,
absolutely.
If there's anywhere in this world he is, man, like God bless his life.
Absolutely.
The world lost a good
lost a good man.
We did. We lost a great man.
Yeah,
the only way that I can justify it is, and you can't, but the only thing that makes me sleep better at night is, I guess they needed another angel, saint, soul, whatever you believe in, up in heaven or whatever. But we definitely needed him down here, and his family needed him down here, and I don't understand it. I really
don't either.
I don't.
And it's like I try to find I couldn't, man. It was I tried to be busy doing something else, so I couldn't think about it.
Yeah,
of course. So, well, in spirit of Wes, I know that he'd want to know your opinion on this too, Pear, because you weren't on earlier. Me and Carrie kind of went through some things, and thanks for the shout out. But let me ask you this: based on what you've seen so far, and we still got a lot of basketball to go, but do you have 8 contenders and 8 pretenders right now that you're looking at? That you got the top 25 down below, and obviously that's going to change because we've already seen some teams lose, and more teams are going to lose. I mean, this is we're on the doorstep of March Madness. I mean, you've got the rivalry week coming up, this week coming up. You got the conference tournament week that we love, and then baby, it's go time for March Madness. I mean, it's just going to be boom, boom, boom. So
if I had to pick, I'm gonna say Duke.
Oh yeah,
contender. I'm gonna say Arizona's a contender.
Definitely.
I'm gonna say Houston is a contender.
Definitely.
I think Houston's got ammunition. UConn, I'm borderline because I was very high on UConn coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just like the Big East ain't what the Big East is. So I look at Florida. I think Florida is serious. I think Iowa State is serious.
Yeah.
Kansas.
What's your thoughts on Illinois, by the way? I mean, they're sneaky with all them European guys in the I still don't know how they blew that 17-point lead to UCLA and lost at the buzzer. But
I do believe they're a Sweet 16 team.
Yeah.
I do believe they're a Sweet. It'd be hard pressed for Illinois if Illinois didn't make the Sweet 16.
Something's
I
wrong.
I got to see who their matchup would be. Like if they didn't make the Sweet 16, who would they have to play? Would they have to play Kansas? Would they have had to play Houston? Like
yeah, because right now they're in line for a 3 seed, if I'm not mistaken, and they might jump up to the 2 if they can upset Michigan Friday night. I mean, that's going to be a fire game in Champaign between Michigan and Illinois Friday night basketball.
My thoughts with Gonzaga: if Graham Ike is not on, it's
a long night.
They fall apart, and they got St. Mary's on Saturday night. That's going to be the 10:30 game. I mean, you know, and
that's after Arkansas and Florida and Tennessee and Alabama.
Dude, what a fire lineup Saturday! I mean, it starts off at noon with Duke and Virginia in Cameron Indoor Stadium at noon. We've got basketball all day. I mean, it's going to be amazing, dude.
Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio and St. Louis.
Yeah.
I feel like if they lose like one game, they should be fine. You know what I mean? They should be fine.
Yeah.
Like if Miami of Ohio, okay. If Miami of Ohio, when Miami of Ohio, this one thing I'll say. Miami of Ohio, if they only lose in the championship game, I still think they're in. If they lose,
they have to be. They have to be.
Because it's like one game. If they like if St. Louis like teams like Gonzaga, St. Louis, and Miami of Ohio, I feel like they kind of get the pass if they lose their conference championship.
Yeah. If anything, that just takes a bit away from one of the big time players that are on that bubble. That's why you got to take care of business.
I think if you're a top 25 ranked team, you're in.
You're in. You should be. Yes.
Automatic.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
you're
agree with that.
25, that's out of that at large, whatever. Yeah. If you're 20, if you're in the 25, now I kind of look at what you do in your conference during your regular season. And what are your big wins and what are your bad losses?
Yes.
Because does Purdue have some bad losses? Does St. John's have some bad losses? Does Tennessee has a bad loss to Syracuse? How bad is that Syracuse loss now?
Yeah.
Especially with what Duke did to their ass last Monday. I mean, that was just murder right there.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
look at teams that lose and then look at the team that keeps winning.
Think about the double-digit leads that a lot of these teams have blown this year. I mean, Duke blew a 14. Tennessee blew 2 14-point leads. Kansas blew a 14-point lead. Arizona blew a double-digit lead to Texas Tech at home.
Yeah. I mean,
there have been a lot of double-digit blown leads.
That's why. And that's why, like with Illinois, I mean, Illinois was up 17, and then you're going to lose to UCLA on the buzzer, and that UCLA team had a lot of hype coming in, but they haven't done anything. I mean, like they're just there. They're just a name.
They are just. Hey, you said it. You said it.
They're just a name. They're just a name. That's it. That's it.
Just a name.
Yeah. Tupper, let me ask you this because I really want your thoughts on this because me and Carrie touched on it a little bit. You know, this Darren Peterson thing is starting to get some hype. And here's the thing. I can see both sides of it. But you know what the sad part about it is? His team and him could have basically said, screw you guys. We're going to sit out because he's going to be a top 3 pick no matter what. I give the guy credit for even playing. And the thing is, when you got a bad wheel like a hamstring and so forth like that, you're not even near the player that you could be. And we've seen the flashes, especially with how he played against BYU that night and so forth when game day was there. So, but what's your thoughts?
He didn't play against Tennessee in our game out in Vegas, did he?
No, because he wasn't ready yet. He didn't play against Duke either. He didn't play against Duke because that's when the hamstring happened. Now, he did play against North Carolina in that first game of the year, but that was the first game of the year. But he still had 18 points, you know, and stuff. And then the hamstring flared up after that game. So, yeah, and he's been battling that ever since. And, you know, I don't know.
Remember when we were talking about this freshman class being one of the best in history?
Yes.
I saw a lot of comparisons tonight to 1981. They've talked about the freshman class of 1981. Here are some names from 1981. Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Chris Mullin. You think those 5 had great NBA careers after their college?
You pretty much named the dream team right there, to be honest with you, right there.
5 members of the original dream team. Well, Hakeem was not on the original. He was on the second dream team.
He was on dream team too, but it's crazy.
That was crazy.
Look at that freshman group. I mean, they're comparing this freshman group to that freshman group. That is scary.
And then the funniest thing of it all is that Cooper Flagg was originally a part of that, and then he reclassified a year early or whatever.
That's right.
That. And it's like they all were a part of it. Like, I mean, they were all playing against each other in AAU ball and shit.
Man,
and that's
crazy. I mean, it really is. And I don't know. I was looking at this. Yeah, I mean, just nuts. So, yeah. And Two-Pair, let me ask you this because I know we're going to have more conversations about it. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, you look at some of these teams. We were talking about pretenders. I mean, obviously, you know, we don't know what you're going to get with Kansas. You're not going to go what you get with Michigan State. But what is there to be said about some of these teams that have these coaches that have been there before? And when the spotlight is there, sometimes good coaching can get you a win. I mean, what do you think is the most important factor come March? Is it coaching? Is it the Jimmy and the Joes are better than the other guys? Is it the geographical location? Is it the matchups? Or is it all of it in some hodgepodge? What's your thoughts, brother?
It's a little bit of all what you just said. But I think the main factor is you got to have a great backcourt play, and you got to have front court guys that are tough, like that are gonna be physical with whoever is the top guy. Like we saw a Tobe Awaka play stronger against a Zach Edey than a Jonas Adu.
Yep.
Like that Edey flu is real. And that's the first time I ever seen anybody catch it in real time. So a little bit is about coaching, but I think you got to have players, man. And you got to have guys that move as a unit and play as a team.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you heard me earlier too, Per, and I was telling Carrie, so after when Duke beat Michigan on Saturday, Cam Boozer looks right at the camera. He don't say nothing, but he's just got this look in his eye. And I like to joke around and call it the Cincinnati look or whatever like that. It's like, yeah, I just went in there, did what I did, and I drank your whiskey. I'm going to come back and do it again. There's some guys that got that dog mentality, man. And I was like, wow. I mean, woo. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him, man. He's got that DAWG, not DOG, DAWG.
Yeah. No,
I love Cam Boozer. I think
he's amazing.
I think Cam Boozer, Koa Pete, this whole class.
Caleb Wilson. I mean, they're solid. They are solid from top to bottom.
Think about it. Nate
Kingston Flemings,
BJ Abramsa, Nate Ament. These guys, my God.
Yep.
These guys are studs. They're grade A studs.
Yep. I mean, I've been singing Shelton Henderson's praises for Miami. I think he needs to come back. I hope he comes back, but I get it if you're a lottery pick, but I almost think that next year's draft class, no disrespect to the kids coming up for this next group, because there's some talented guys there like a Cam Williams and Jason Jordan and those guys. But I'm just going to be honest with you. This group, though, if you're not one of the top 5 or 10, you come back next year, you could be the top pick. You could be the top pick. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So, yeah. But yeah, I was just curious of what you thought. And you're in line with a lot of ours. And I mean, it's going to be crazy, coming up in March. And we're obviously we're going to talk more about it.
This is going to be a crazy March.
Oh, absolutely. Before we get to the They Stink and the big games of the week, I did want to just throw this out there as kind of a laugher or whatever. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You know how we were talking about this great basketball on Saturday? I have absolutely no interest to watch this, but they've been touting it. I'm going to put it up here. The Elimination Chamber is on Saturday. Does anybody care? Does anybody give a shit? I mean, honestly, at this point, isn't he going to pay $40 for it on ESPN? I mean, Jesus, criminy. So shoot. I mean, oh my God, it's so bad. It is so bad. So
it is horrible, man.
Man,
I have no interest.
Bro, ever since it left, like, how do you leave that library? You had such a great library on Peacock. It was like one of the best. I mean, that was the main reason that I love my WWE Network subscription.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And it's the same product, but you're paying $35 more. For what? For absolutely what?
Gee,
at this point.
Stop, man.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't agree with
I
just didn't agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought it'd be something funny to laugh at because, like we've mentioned, we got basketball from noon practically to midnight or 12:30. You know what I mean, type of a thing. And it's like, No, I'm not going to stop to watch that. ESPN, you need to go to your bread and butter and hype up this basketball because it's going to turn over to CBS. And Tupir, I don't know if you laughed at what me and Carrie did the last time, but it's like, does CBS even show anything meaningful anymore? I mean, I'm sick and tired of watching Purdue on damn Sundays. I mean, I remember the days when CBS had some damn great matchups or whatever like that before the tournament started. And when they lost the SEC, I just cannot. I forget football. Basketball is even worse without it not even being on there. So yeah, I mean,
Big 12. They still got March Madness, but they still got March Madness, and that'll make up for everything else, man.
I agree.
But it used to help them when the Big East was the Big East, though.
Oh gosh, yes.
It did. So I just remember I was having that conversation with my buddy. I was like, remember Big Monday, Super Tuesday, like all that stuff every day.
About when the Pac-10, Pac-10, Pac-12, when ABC or CBS used to get those games.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the last time that the Pac-10, Pac-12 teams were good, they were always either on CBS or ABC, and that would have to be 95 UCLA and 97 Arizona.
Yep. I mean, some could argue 2001 Arizona with Gardner and that group, Richard Jefferson. That was a solid year because UCLA was good with Capono and Dan Gadzuric in that group. Earl Watson was, and then USC, if you remember, was coached by Henry Bibby, Mike Bibby's dad, and they had Scalabrine and
Blumenthal, Trevania,
Clancy. Yep, Clancy. So they were solid. I mean, that was a damn great team. Oh, and what about Stanford? The Collins twins and Casey Jacobson. Yep. I mean, so that was. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I look at stuff like that, and it's just like, I mean, look at Stanford and Cal, man. They're in the ACC, but they ain't even barely going to make the ACC tournament, and they're not going to do nothing. I mean, they're just not.
They're just. I mean, it's not.
They're just there.
Once was when Cal, like, Cal's not getting. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I probably say their last best player would have been Jaylen Brown.
Probably.
For Cal.
And then they're coached by Mark Madsen, the Mad Dog himself, who is a Stanford guy. Like they're coached by like one of their biggest rivals, best players, known for that shot and him going like that when they showed the old tournament
Rhode Island
wins against Rhode Island. Yes, so the '98 tournament.
Taylor and Catino Mobley.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. That's
Catino
right.
Mobley.
So, Catino Mobley. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fire March Madness. But I just had to laugh about this elimination chamber. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, they really don't. They don't. So, not for that price. So
this Saturday.
Before we get to They Stink, Carrie, give me some big games, man, because it's your turn now to talk about them big games.
This is ESPN's lineup on Saturday.
Here, let's see your beautiful smiling face. Put that camera down a little bit.
There you go.
There we go. So,
there you go. Let's see this. This is ESPN's Saturday lineup. 12 noon, Duke versus Virginia. 2 o'clock, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. 4 o'clock, Kansas, Arizona.
Oh, my
6 o'clock, Alabama, Tennessee.
Give it to me.
8:30, Arkansas, Florida. 10:30, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. But that ain't all. Even CBS has got one of the hot games Saturday.
They do,
4 o'clock, Texas Tech, Iowa State. CBS has that at 4.
I want to know how much the CEO Paramount guy paid to get that game because he did something because he's like, why are we not having anything better? Go ahead, keep going.
But that is loaded. That's a Saturday worth of. You could get some popcorn, get some drinks, order food in. You ain't going nowhere.
February 28th, guys. It's not even March officially. The last day of February is a lineup of that. I mean, honestly, like, I'm tickled pink about it. I really am. I mean, it's going to be some great basketball.
Credit the schedule makers of these conferences and credit television for hooking us up with great matchups. My God.
Absolutely. I mean, that right there is worthy, and you have basketball up until 12:30 again, pretty much another
You got
fire
NCAA
day.
tournament teams. ESPN is showing of their 6 games,
Yes.
11 ranked teams.
Correct. So, yeah.
The 4 to 10:30 stretch, you've got 6 ranked teams playing each other. Kansas, Arizona, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I am so stoked for this month coming up, and it's anybody's tournament. I mean, yeah, you've got the contenders. Teams get hot, and a lot of factors are going to get into it. And I know we'll talk more about it. I think it's going to get cleared up a little bit, especially with who's available. And, we were talking about, Tupper, I don't know if you heard the unfortunate injury that happened to JT Toppin in Texas Tech, because that was going to be a damn dangerous team in the tournament. They still might, but to lose a guy that was in consideration for the player of the year, and you knew what he brought to the table. I mean, that just sucks, man. That just sucks. I hate that for anybody. I got Kenyon Martin type vibes from it. You know how good Cincinnati was that year, and we will never know. That could have been the team. Bob, not to take away from the Flintstones of Michigan State, they were fabulous, but no one could argue that
could have been
Cincinnati
Bob Huggins'
team,
championship.
That could have been Bob Huggins' one, that he needed or whatever. So yeah, he had some good teams at West Virginia, but that was the team. That was his team.
His team.
The Bearcats. So back then. So
oh man, they were tough. Man,
they were.
Kenyon Martin, Nick Van Exel.
Yes. I mean, they were solid as anybody could be, honestly. So
yeah.
Yep.
Nick Van Exel.
Yep. No, I remember it. And when he went down.
Oh yeah, Nick Van Exel, like 92. Well, he went to a Final Four and an Elite Eight.
He did. Yep. He did. So yeah, no, Bearcats were always known for, and that's why it just shocked me when they upset Kansas on Saturday. That was like their first win in years on the road against a top 10 opponent, and I was like, really? It's been that long? And I guess it has been that long. They
made it look easy.
I've never seen a team go into fog like that and just take it,
dominate them.
Yeah, but I'll give you a team, Central Florida, last night beating the hell out of BYU. Johnny Dawkins has done a fabulous job with Central Florida in a tough conference. I mean, they're going to be a tough team in the tournament. Yeah, they really are. They really are. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Well, let me ask you this before we wrap up, guys, and it's been a great show. You know how we always finish it out with they stink. Two-Pair, who was your stinkeroo from this week in sports, man? Who really just was just ad nauseum? It's stuck to your nostril, your nose hairs, pretty much, in your opinion.
I'm just gonna say UCLA's Mick Cronin.
Oh,
yeah,
he's horrible.
Because don't when you win, when you win a big game, don't be like a nightclub comic comedian, and then when you lose, crash out on all the reporters. Like I'm so over that. I'm so over that. Like it's not teaching sportsmanship, and it's not teaching how to handle losses are lessons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And then he kicked out his own player. I mean, and then wasn't he in the news last year around this time because he called out his guys saying they're soft? And I know Seth Greenberg gave him the business on game day after that because it was on a Friday when he did it, and then they had the show Saturday morning.
I got another stinker.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The Kansas State men's basketball program.
Oh yeah,
that's trash. Just absolute trash. It is. Yeah.
He voiced his opinion.
Yep.
About what he has.
And got fired for it.
He got fired for it.
Yeah.
He got fired for calls.
Mm-hmm. You know what that tells me? They don't want to win. That's why Frank Martin left there. Frank Martin was a great coach for them. Went to South Carolina. They had a couple of good years. They don't want to win there. I mean, that's a football.
They just don't want to win.
They don't want to win 2 years ago. They were in the Elite Eight. They were in the Elite Eight 2 years ago.
Unbelievable.
It's like, Jerome Taylor
Pathetic.
is the same coach that got you to the Elite Eight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then look what happened. Texas Tech whipped them without JT Toppin. Go ahead. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. So, yeah, my stinkers.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'll tell you this. The players, I mean, they don't even want to. They don't even care anymore. I mean, they got 3 games left. They don't care. They don't give.
They don't care.
They don't give a. They don't give a flying fuck.
Give a shit. They don't. They don't. So you just fired the best thing that's happened to your program in years. So idiots. So somebody will pick them up. Somebody will. So
yeah.
Carrie, who was your stinkeroo this week? By the way,
I started this rant last night, and it's going to continue tonight. The Winter Olympics were fantastic for 2 weeks. A lot of fun. You had a lot of agony the first week, but then you had a lot of celebration in the second week. My focus is towards a country that I basically grew up an hour and a half from. I'm looking at the country of freaking Canada. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, something. Your butt hurt because the U.S. owns gold in both hockey, men's and women's. You're complaining about the rules and how they were not in your favor. Look here. Y'all knew what the rules were before the tournament began. If the games went to overtime, it's 3-on-3 for 20 minutes with 18-minute rest period, and we're going to go at it again. The women didn't complain so much. The men, however, when your head coach comes out and says, when you take players off the ice, the skill level diminishes. Bubba, y'all outshot the Americans 42-24.
I watched it.
A 5-on-3 power play for 1 minute and 40 seconds in the second period.
You have multiple Hall of Famers on that team. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, multiple Hall of Famers. You had 19 shots in the second period alone. 19.
And only got 1 goal.
And you already got 1 goal. And the reason why you got that 1 goal, because it bounced off header buck and bounced in. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got that. And he said, the better team lost the game. No, the better team won the game because the better team withstood all of that. Had the goaltending performance of a lifetime.
And a kid with half his teeth knocked out. I mean,
And the guy who scored the winning goal had 2 teeth knocked out.
Hughes was so big.
And instead of congratulating them and telling them, great job, you're complaining about the rules. You're complaining about how life wasn't fair, how this wasn't fair, that a nation got jobbed. This on top of the fact that 4 months ago, the Toronto Blue Jays had a 3-2 lead in the World Series on the LA Dodgers and lost both games in Canada to the Dodgers. Canada, you stink. I'm going international on you.
I love it.
Stink.
Let me tell you this. The looks on their faces said it all. I mean, they were so spoiled. And I'm like, listen, shit happens. It's sports.
The entitlement was so out of the way. It was unbelievable.
They really thought we were just going to bend over for them and take silver. They really did. I mean, oh my God. So,
it feels good that like USA has emerged in hockey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like women and men. Like
a new generation. A new generation. Yes,
It's just crazy to think like the last time the men won gold, we weren't born.
I was 9 years old.
You were 9. We weren't
even born. We weren't even born yet.
And to give you an idea of how far television has come, the game with the Russians was tape delayed. I watched it on a Friday night at 8:00. Nobody knew the results except the people that were at the rink in Lake Placid. That's how far television and technology has come.
I mean,
no one else knew the result until you watched the game.
Damn.
Yes.
To be
I mean, and that's the thing. And then what people don't even remember, that was the semifinal game. That wasn't even
Exactly.
the
That wasn't the gold
championship,
medal game.
I mean, the gold medal game was the next night or 2 nights later or
2
something.
nights later was the gold medal game. And here's what you talk about: Jack Hughes and his brother being on the part of the team with the Kachuk brothers. Their mom is the head of player development for Team USA women's hockey. So she got to see her sons win a gold medal, and she got a gold medal for putting Team USA women together.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That is a great day.
I will say this, Carrie, I loved what you said about that, about the Olympics, because it was a tough go. Poor Lindsey Vonn, and then you hear the story that there was even talk about amputating the leg. It was so messed up.
Yep.
But luckily, hopefully she'll be okay. But, another story that really stood out to me was Michaela Sheffrin just kicking ass in that. Oh, my God. And you talk about vindication of what happened 4 years before. She came back and got retribution. That's what I love about the games, is that you come back and don't let that ruin it for you. And for anybody that maybe didn't have a good games this time and they have that opportunity, just work harder for the next 4 years, because everybody's going to be working harder.
Think about this in Olympic history for Michaela Sheffrin. She was the youngest gold medal winner, and now she's the oldest gold medal winner.
Yep.
She's covered both ends of the spectrum. That's her career in a nutshell.
Yes.
And the U.S. did very well. Most gold medals ever at a Winter Olympics with 12. Second with most medals ever at Olympic Games with 32. The U.S. had a fantastic Olympics.
I mean, I was very proud of them. And they competed in every sport, even the ones that they're still trying to get like a little bit of insert themselves in. And it's just like the Summer Olympics. They've improved in certain sports that they just don't compete in, but they are trying to get a hold in it. And you can be the next great in each of those sports. That's what that tells kids.
Basketball's already starting to load up for the 28 Olympics in L.A. Kevin Durant came out yesterday and said, I'm playing in 28. They've already sent his invitation. He's playing in 28. He wants to be our most decorated Olympian on the men's side ever. I'm telling you, folks, LA is going to be here in a couple years. Later this summer, the World Cup. Think about that.
Yes.
The World Cup all over this country and Becca. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy, man.
Yeah, and will somebody finally unseat the Argentina, who is still, even with Messi at the end of his career, they've got a solid damn team again in Argentina. So you got to watch out for them to repeat as World Cup champions. So for sure. My stinkeroo, I've got two, by the way. And the thing is that this guy, he had a great year up until this point. And I don't know if it was just a bad matchup, if he took it personally and tried to make this more of a Duke, North Carolina thing. But Elliot Cadeau was absolutely atrocious Saturday night for Michigan.
Oh, man.
I mean, you can talk about Dame Sarr's defense on him all you want.
He was terrible.
Here you have Yaxel doing amazing things, and you take it upon yourself to shoot your team out of the game with ridiculous three-point shots that weren't needed. You have guys go inside. Duke has foul trouble. What the hell are you doing, Cadeau? And nobody was worse than him that night, honestly. But to outdo him before he was my official they stink was Notre Dame last night in basketball.
Oh, gosh.
That was just... I mean, here you were thinking that maybe Duke might have a hangover. They've had traditional problems playing in Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame was missing a couple of guys. That game was over within a minute, bros, honestly. And then they lose for the largest margin of defeat. Let me give you these numbers. The largest margin of defeat, almost in ACC history. And the worst one in Notre Dame since they lost to the Chicago Regiment in 1898.
Damn.
Man.
Notre Dame basketball. Oh, and your coach jumped up and down and like messed up his Achilles or his ankle. His son got held scoreless last night, and they're probably going to fire him with all the antics and things he's gotten. He got teed up for disagreeing with a call. The refs have had it out for him all year long. But Notre Dame basketball, especially men's, you stink. I mean, you're awful. You're not even going to make the ACC tournament. You're so bad. I mean, just terrible decision by Shrewsbury to leave Penn State and go there. And hopefully he lands on his feet, but I will be very surprised if he's still Notre Dame's coach whenever the season officially ends next week.
I agree.
But they stink. I mean, they weren't even competitive. And Boozer only played 24 minutes. He sat out the last 16 minutes. Duke's ninth guy has like a career day as the second leading scorer. And then on top of it all, I mean, you allowed 101 points and you barely got to 54. I mean, just atrocious, just awful performance here. And they should be ashamed of themselves, honestly. They stink. So feel bad for those students that literally were there all excited, thinking they could maybe do an upset. Digger Phelps in the house, God love him. And
you ever think they start paying for the conference versus Catholics and all that stuff
officially went down in flames, and it wasn't even in.
Do you think the devil finally got Notre Dame? Think about all that payback for all those years, convicts versus Catholics. I mean, some of the stuff that they've tried to pull. You think they're finally getting paid back in spades, and they're getting used by the basketball team?
I think it is.
Yeah, hey, you know,
I think
they have a way of coming back around.
Yep. And Miami better take care of business next week up there, or I'm going to look like a fool calling them they stink. So come on, Miami, don't mess this up, man. I want that double bye so I can see you guys. So for sure. But yeah, a great show though, guys. Listen, final thoughts before we wrap this one up. It's been a great show, and we'll be back next week, obviously, to talk about not only this fire weekend of basketball, but also talk about the rivalry week. And as we start peeking at that conference tournament, we should see which teams go on. And hopefully we're talking about West finally beating Oak Ridge and talking about maybe getting Bearden back or Farragut in the next round or something, depending on how those things work out in the region. But final thoughts, guys, before we part ways for tonight.
Final thoughts are, as always, it's great being back with you guys, back doing this, getting our therapy session on.
Miss you guys.
Shane joining us earlier was a lot of fun. It was just good getting back. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming. We got March Madness. I mean, we're at the tip of March Madness, man.
We are at the doorstep, baby.
We are at the doorstep. And if the action that we saw this weekend is a sign, hang on to your hats, folks, because the race to the national championship is going to take a lot of twists and turns. We could end up with a Final Four with all number one seeds like last year, or we could end up with a Final Four, the likes of which no one could have possibly guessed. Mm-hmm. We are that the margins are that thin.
Mm-hmm.
That thin.
Yep. And I'm excited.
I'm ready for every single bit of it.
And I'm excited because when the selection show happens, right afterwards at 8:00, I'll have Stallion Speaks on, and I'll be looking at those brackets, and we're going to have coverage that week, obviously, leading up to the big games on Thursday, like we always do, and we're going to pick a bracket together, the Rebels with a Cause bracket, as we like to call it, and hopefully it does better this year than it did last year at times, because some teams really let us down, but I think that this year there's going to be some teams that are going to flex their muscle. But Two Pair, close us out, brother, honestly, with your final thoughts. Two Pair?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. No, you might have been on mute, but just your final thoughts, brother. So, yep.
I probably was, but man, just and really take the opportunity to enjoy life, treat it with responsibility and purpose. If I can say anything to you, man, just like. I'm glad we're doing this show because I feel like our show is the kind of show that would highlight a special human being that Wes Rucker was.
Yep. For sure. And you just got to love each other. And like Carrie said earlier, tomorrow's not guaranteed. You got to live in today and appreciate this stuff, man, honestly, because it ain't guaranteed. So, yeah, for sure. So, Great show as always, guys. Well, you know how we end every show. We got to throw that W up. West, go get them in every sport, baby. Give them
Yep.
hell.
Go
And
get
it's
'em,
all
man.
about that W. And remember, guys, no matter what, that clock don't stop when that clock hits 0. We Rebels with a Cause. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, live or recorded. Smash that like button, and we'll be back. And I'll be on Sunday for Stallion Speaks, better than ever. But smash that like button and share us. We out.
Let me see.
Go
See
Rebels.
ya.
Straight out of Marble City. All rebel, you what they say. Yeah. Don't never use that. What? Came up running routes on a chalked up field. Hoops on a black top, chain nets, cheap meals. West on the jersey, now west in the heart. We were just a little crude and the mission turned hard. Stallion talk strong, he gon' stand on truth. Two-pair tape got the cards for the lost eye youth. Coach Shane, old Mac with the game time plan. Big game, Kerry Reeves, show you how to be a stand-up man. Straight out of the west side, throw them W's up, watch the whole world ride. RWAC, yeah, say it with your chest. It's not just a brand, it's a whole new line. We some rebels with a cause, all about that real talk. Clock hits 0, but the grind don't walk off. RWAC, yeah, carry it for all of us. It's not just a name, it's the way we stand tall. We don't just chill when the crowd get loud. We stay in the city when the lights die down. Show love to the kids on the crack cement. Dropping knowledge in the huddle like it's heaven sent. Talk grades, talk faith, talk how to treat moms. Talk pain, talk pressure, how to keep calm. From the bleachers to the barbershop, past that flame. Every jersey, every nickname, learn the same last name.